Within the ancient order of the Harbingers, every member knows two prophecies, two eventualities, one of peace and one of doom. Only one of these foretellings may prove true, but not even the gods know which. And so the Harbingers fight, seeking always to stand against the darkness and be heralds of the times of peace. Yet always the shadow lurks. Doom is waiting, biding its time, assured of its own inevitability, prowling like a great cat ready to strike, hanging from above like a blade on a thread. Doom, they tell themselves. Doom is coming, and only they may stop it. But to fight an enemy, you must know them. And so they recite the prophecy of doom.
I shall not see a world that will be dear to me. Summer without flowers, cows without milk, folk without conscience, warriors not brave.
Conquests without a king.
Woods without fruit, fishless seas. Multitudes of storms!
Bad judgments by old men, false precedents of the lawgivers. Forts barren of structures, hollow.
A stronghold coming from mistakes, a devastated time. An excess of lords, but too many homeless.
Joy in evil, covered in sorrow. Everyone a betrayer, each child a robber. Oh, evil time. Son will deceive father, daughter will deceive mother.
Ahoy and welcome everybody, welcome to Harbingers Season 2. I am Derek Sordos, he, him pronouns. I am your GM and your GC for this game. I am your game master and also your guiding compass as these Harbingers navigate the treacherous seas of Damaros and beyond. This being a Horizons Call spinoff, these goth kids, the hot topic side of Horizons Call, take on some of the darker aspects, some of the darker adventures that the Horizons Call crew just aren't ready for. They it's not for them. This is for all of you. I'm joined as always by these very lovely individuals who I want to have introduce themselves and their characters. Then we'll do a little recap and we will dive right into things. Before all of that, however, I do want to say that this is a Sword and Key stream, and you can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. You can find all of our links one neat, nice place. We have our socials right up at the top. So if you're looking for BlueSky or Instagram or even our Discord links, all that stuff is there. You can hang out on our Discord with cool folks like us, talk about cool games like this, or really tons of other stuff. If you are looking for some of our discount codes, we have those listed there too for some of our affiliates. We have affiliateships with Hit Point Press, makers of Humblewood, Islands of Sina Una, the Floral Dragon series, which is really cool, the Big Bad series, which is really great. They have music to go along with a lot of their stuff that you can also purchase and download, as well as plush graphic novels and, of course, all the TTRPG accessories you could possibly want. If you are shopping from them, please use our affiliate link. If you are looking for a custom mini for your custom character, look no further than Eldritch Foundry. No matter how weird and wild and normal and mod your TTRPG character might be, you can make a mini of them. When you do, use code Sword and Key for 10% off your first purchase. Or if you do 3D printing, use our affiliate link. That will get you a 3-month subscription for only $19.99. That's unlimited STL files. If you're looking for your perfect dice set, might I suggest Long Dog Dice, and you will thank me when I do, because Long Dog Dice is some of the best dice out there. Jen, the craftsperson behind Long Dog Dice, makes beautiful, gorgeous, perfect dice sets. They roll really well, as evidenced by the first roll of this second season, which was a nat 20. But also, they're gorgeous. This is from the official Horizons Call set. This is the custom D6, which has the Sword and Key logo on it. You can actually pre-order a set of these for yourself if you want, or any of the dice from the Horizons Call main cast, or just get your perfect dice. LD has a couple of options there as well. In addition to just regular dice sets, Long Dog Dice also has dice fidgets. The D20 fidget there has a beautiful squish to it. You can order those in a variety of colors. There's also clothing now, which you can get customized to your D&D character. There's glassware. Tons of great stuff. Code Sword and Key will get you 10% off your purchase of whatever you get from Long Dog Dice. Also, might I suggest Friday afternoon tea for your perfect tea? I am drinking some Friday afternoon tea right now, and I in my Friday afternoon tea mug as well. So check out Friday afternoon tea. Tons and tons of selections. LD is also drinking some. And I'm actually going to borrow LD's code here. Use code The Lady Dame for 10% off your order with Friday afternoon tea. I personally recommend the official Sword and Tea, which Eva and I helped make, but I will also throw out the Smut Tea, which LD helped make. All that said, we also have links to some of our charitable organizations we're in support of at any given time. This game in particular is part of our Pride Month campaign, but will extend beyond Pride Month. But we are raising money for the Trans Latina Coalition, the second A in Latina being the @ which is a very important organization, now more than ever, that works with 2 marginalized groups at this beautiful section of intersectionality to help advocate and promote rights and overall well-being of those communities and beyond. So anything you are willing and able to donate, both those things being important together, can add incentives to this game. Check out the Tiltify link on our socials, as well as, of course, on Beacons and in chat. All that said, I'm going to save everything else for the end. Let's go ahead and go around and have these lovely people say more about themselves. I forget who I start with. I want to say it's Abhishek. And
you were correct.
and I'm correct. Hey, go with your gut. Abhishek, tell us more about your love of the self.
Hi everyone, my name is Abhishek Matange. I am a voice actor and TTRPG AP performer. Tonight, I will be playing the lovely, badass Jackal woman, the Anubite monk, warrior of the living weapon. I forgot the name change because of the now in 24 rules. Anubia. She uses she/they pronouns, and yeah, she's looking to kick some vampire ass. She's not a big fan of them, as you'll probably come to know.
Fantastic. Well, perhaps a vampire ass will show itself today. We'll find out. Next up, I'm going to say it's Alex.
That was what we did last week, and so here we are doing it
Perfect.
again today. Hello,
Oh, yeah.
everybody. My name is Alex. I cannot be found on the internet except for occasional forays into this here lovely Twitch channel, which I am incredibly grateful to be guesting on tonight. As for who are we playing? I will be playing Desiree, the drow Echo Knight, who is currently battling her way through an existential crisis and the aforementioned vampire pirates.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure to have you here, Alex. It is one of my favorite things that you are an exclusive on this channel. It means we might actually be doing something right. Next up, I want to say is Rack.
Is now.
Okay, well, it would be LD. Damn, I was... Okay.
Too late, you said
Go for it, Rack. Well, yeah, go for it, Rack. Get in there.
All right, I guess we're doing it like this. Hello, everyone. I'm Rakolai, or Rakolai. No preference on how you say it. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I will be reprising my role as everyone's favorite Kenku, Croak. You know him, you love him, hailing from the corner of Hot Topic and PetSmart. Here to...
It's really good.
Here to have a good time.
Love it. Next up, let's go back to LD.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lady Dame, or LD. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the one running the tech on this one. And today I will be playing everybody's favorite slutty harpy, Fiach of the Rowan. Currently a warlock. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. We're just going with warlock. I'm going to save that for what the subclass is for when we actually get into combat.
Yeah, a little bit of a light rebrand in the first episode, and definitely hard launching that this time, but we will leave a little bit up to some surprise there.
Exactly.
Last but absolutely not least, we have Gena.
Hi, I'm Gena. I use she, her pronouns, and I am playing Saskia Kavirense, Air Genasi, Paladin Medic, winner 7 years in a row of not the best, worst bedside manner possible.
It's an important reward. The family is very proud. Fantastic. Well, LD, you have been wonderful enough to prepare the recap for this week. So whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Great. Hello. Great. Perfect. So, episode 1 of the Harbingers getting the gang back together. We see them all at Raven's Rock dealing with sort of processing still trauma from the last adventure, which happened a bit ago. But still, we see, training, getting prepared for the next mission, whatever that might be. Croak's, quest to fly yet again and feel that sensation, which is not at all heartbreaking and makes me want to cry every time. It's fine. Don't worry about it. When the gang is called back, actually, I did skip a little bit. We did have a little bit of a prologue of a satyr woman who was doing some sort of divination when something was set upon them. The resident Harrowspec here on Raven's Rock, Evander, who is an Owlin, messages were received and divination things happened, and Evander had called in the group to let them know that a very important other Harrowspec, Moira, the satyr, had been was in a bit of a trouble in an unknown, well, not totally unknown, we know a few things, that she had been possibly captured, taken, and all signs point to one Captain Kragan Bloodbeard Adderlass, rumored to be perhaps maybe a vampire, probably a vampirate, if one will, who is on the island of Sangdamar in the port city of Esperanza. I did take these notes. He was a brilliant, scary, terrifying captain, now the lord of said city. The group decided that they needed to pay a visit to Smackdown the Kobold, the best NPC ever created, to get their weapons silvered for going up against potential vampires. And then they set out on their way on the previous ship that they had taken on their last adventure. Fiach being very familiar with the captain of that one. As they traveled, there was some watches happening, some feather fall was happening, a really heartfelt, introspective conversation was had between Fiach and Desiree, in which many things were brought into question, and realizing that this group is not, in fact, okay after some of the events of the last time. As we drew about almost a month into the journey, the ship heard alarm bells and went to go investigate. It was a ship called the Perseverance, and on it they found a lot of dead bodies and one lone member of the Golden Flame, the Acolyte Rennick, who had hid during the attack by a bunch of vampirates. And he's out trying to get his knighthood and stuff, but he being a wee thing and not particularly powerful, that there's a lot that comes into question. Yeah, because the Golden Flames are another organization that have been hunting down these vampires and things, although they are not nearly as competent as the Harbingers are. And I think the only other piece of information we got was the name of the captain's ship, which was the Night Queen, I believe, is the other note that I have.
That's correct, yeah.
I believe that's everything that I wrote down that happened, so it must be correct.
Wonderful job.
Thank
Absolutely.
You.
Yeah. Please enjoy a point of inspiration for doing the recap.
Thank you.
Great. Well, then, let's pick up not long after we left off. So, we're going to pick up the next day. We left off on what was essentially the midday of having 2 days left in your journey, as you are heading towards Sangdamar and the port of Esperanza. If you do want to reference, and I don't know if this is available to the audience, it's fine if it's not, but we do have our main Damaris map that you can see. And if you want to reference the southwestern corner, you can see a little boat symbol that will represent where you are. We don't need to reference it too much from there because you'll be hitting port here pretty soon, and probably not too many nautical adventures happening after that. This is I just typically don't put the Harbingers in the water. I'm not super confident about their swimming capabilities. But with 2 days left in your journey towards Sangdomar and the port of Esperanza, you have brought on this new, not even crewmate, but this passenger, Renwick, a man who was in shock when you met him, and who you at least gave the instruction that when you do make port, and he has offered his services as someone who can assist you with information, who is at least trained on paper to fight and hunt vampires, that he can be of service to you all, help him earn his knighthood. But the at least the minimal instruction that you gave him was to not advertise his anti-vampire stance with his tabard emblazoned and stitched with his symbol of anti-vampirism. And as the next day arrives, you can see that he has gotten up somewhat early. He kind of just wandering about. Doesn't seem like he really knows what to do with himself. Stuck on the ship here. But he has scrounged up some clothes, just some standard sailor's garb. Maybe sold his other equipment just to get this to one of the sailors aboard the Halcyon. With the, I guess this would be the day left before you get to Sangdomar. Is there anything any of you would like to do or achieve or prepare before reaching port?
I think I might try and chat with the group. I think specifically probably Anubia about our new friend. I think it's probably the group as a whole, though, without him.
Okay. Yeah, it's easy enough as he's just like kind of wandering about to find space away from him. He's not like hanging on.
So, I'm not gonna lie, I have a bit of a concern about this one. I know he wants to I know he may have some very useful information and he really wants to prove himself, but I can't help but feel that he would be more of a hindrance than a help if the shit hits the fan, if you take my drift.
I don't disagree.
I find no disagreement from me either.
I agree as well. Can we simply keep him on the ship and contact him through sending?
Can any of us do that?
I can't.
Did you say you can? You can't.
I cannot.
Neither can I. I have not that ability.
Croak will raise a pseudo wing, pull out his dagger, and he will hold it like this with the crossguard facing upward, and then he will pantomime sticking a worm on the end of a hook and point up to where he assumes this new acolyte who we've taken on board is milling about, and gonna go like,
I see your point, Croak.
Quite the bold plan.
It's not very hospitable of us. Not that I'm one to...
You're literally your doctor, Saskia, but okay. Well, I mean, you do make a good point there, Croak.
It would probably work.
Yeah.
We just have to guarantee his safety so he doesn't,
Well,
Well,
we probably don't.
if the Morrigan wills it, one way or the other.
I don't suppose any of you could charm him?
If I have to.
It's a little outside of my wheelhouse.
I don't know how easily he can be charmed, but if I have to, it is that's I can. Although that requires me singing, and nobody actually wants to hear me sing. I'm just saying that's possible.
He's a cleric, right? Or a paladin?
We're not entirely sure. He's an acolyte.
Acolyte, that's right. He's not getting a knighthood.
Right. Not yet, anyway.
Seen him cast a spell.
Have I gotten a sense of like how well has he been recovering like overnight? Like how much better is he doing today?
Yeah, we can say that before this conversation, you would have done just your cursory cold hand poke and see how he's doing. Why don't you go ahead and give me a medicine check?
Okay. Let's see. Oh, that is a nat 20.
Oh, all right.
26
Very nice.
Okay.
total.
Nice.
Great. Okay. With a 26, I would say that he seems definitely better. It seems like he's well rested. It seems like a lot of the color has returned to his skin. There's still a sort of almost emaciated look to him, like this haunted look in his eyes, and I don't know what the extent. I'm going to say with a 26, like there has to be a decent extent to the medical checkup that you're doing on Renwick. There's a few things that just seem a little off, and you're not exactly sure why. But like you go to check his pupil dilation, and it's just slightly delayed. You go to just check his veins, and they just seem to. Like they seem to, you feel the pulse just like a second too late, or it's just a little delayed, and there's just this almost like malleability to them where like if you were to try to draw blood, you feel like he would have the kind of veins that would roll really well, but health wise definitely better than yesterday. He seems to be a lot more hardy than yesterday, but still emotionally, mentally still somewhat probably rightfully down in the dumps.
I think with all that information, I do not. I think I would rather keep him close with all of that information. I don't want him wandering out of my sight for too long, especially not thinking. Saskia's a secret. Thinking about it. I don't know if it's a good idea to leave him on the ship.
So, are you volunteering to be in charge to babysit?
I am always babysitting. I'm doing that now, am I not?
Well, I mean, I didn't.
Do you not trust him?
There's something odd, and I don't know. I don't think that he's malicious. I also don't trust. He's probably not going to stay on the ship regardless. He seems of a type that if we were to leave him, he would just follow us, and that will be more trouble than it is worth. I am not a big fan of, dragging him around, but I don't know. I want to at least see what's going on with him for a few days.
All right. I acquiesce to your expertise. I certainly don't not trust him. Don't have any reason not to trust him. The Golden Flames may be incompetent, but not necessarily terrible. They're not.
I mean, well.
Yeah, but if you think you can keep an eye on it, I'm more worried about him getting himself and the rest of us into more danger than we're already up against. But
yeah, I worry he might be in more trouble than he already.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell what it is. It just might be, everybody's baseline is different, and I just met him. So I don't know if this is just how he is or if it's something.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I also do love Croak's idea of using him as bait. I mean, it's not always the nicest thing, but it's not like we have a ton of options at the moment. So, all right. I just thought I'd get that out there and get everyone's opinions before we hit land. Whether or not we were gonna leave him back on the boat or bring him with us, but it sounds like bringing him with us seems the best course.
It is beginning to sound like that, yes.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
Well, with you, I don't know if you feel more confident about Renwick or not. I don't want to put that on any of you because that was kind of a...
No, but Saskia volunteered to babysit, and that's fine with
That's
Fiach.
true. We came to a sort of conclusion, but I think that's also fair with this sort of unknown quantity that is Renwick. He might prove useful yet. Maybe Croak does have a point with the concept of bait there. That remains to be seen. If there's nothing else for the day, then that day passes without incident. You do notice that the morning that you are due to arrive in Sangdamar, it is a red sky across the horizon, an ominous omen for many sailors, and yet there's a sort of... It doesn't seem to faze anyone because you're not headed out to sea. It's the omen is mostly for those who travel out into the ocean. It's this supposed to be this sign of storms, perhaps, or of bad luck. But you're heading into port, so perhaps the storms are being left behind you. And in a way, they are, and seem to be forming above you. As before too long, you see in the far distance the landmass of Hexacotl growing over the horizon, an island even closer than that, and you grow closer and closer as your ship sails on, but the storm clouds gather above, and the rain begins to patter down. And as you get closer, if you were to look through spyglass and eventually just with the naked eye, you would see these black cliffsides, blackened stone, perhaps volcanic, if you were to have any sort of geological sort of knowledge. They rise up higher and higher as you get closer and closer, that point of the horizon, allowing them to grow more and more into the sky, until you see what is essentially a jungle island that has its own sort of natural defenses built into it, as it doesn't fully sit at sea level. These sharpened, jagged, rocky, blackened cliffsides extend all around where you can see. And at first, you don't really know where to go. There doesn't seem to be a clear point of entry to this port until you are able to spot in the cliffside itself, almost like a wall, there appears to be this naturally formed arched gate of sorts, completely open and wide enough that you could have 3 ships sail with enough distance between them that they wouldn't run into each other, in and out. It just seems like it is naturally formed, but your ship passes without any issue. Let me know if there's anything you all would like to be doing as you are pulling into port while I throw out these descriptions. If there's anything else you want to see about them, feel free to toss that in there.
I do feel like Fiach has a bit of a flashback seeing something that resembles a volcano on a jungle island, and reminds her of another volcano that happened what feels like a long time ago.
On this very same landmass.
It's the island. Same one. Great, fantastic.
It's not the same island.
Same island.
So the island, if you're looking at the map, the island was south. I was
like, this is the same area.
Yeah, a lot of volcanic activity around Hexacotl. So yeah, this is absolutely the. If you want to know what LD's talking about, check out the Scarlet prequel. It was a very fun game, but absolutely had a volcano and some snake cultists and a lot of weird shit. This is also an island off the coast of Hexacotl with some different types of jungles and other weird shit. As you sail further into this
I think
natural.
She would try, sorry, I think she would try and
please.
distract herself when she saw that, and like have this moment of like, great, this again, fantastic. I hate everything about this, and maybe go find Croak and try and start like a dice game or something to try and distract herself before they land.
I think if you go looking for Croak, you would probably find him up in the crow's nest.
Perfect.
Where I'm going to be casting one of the new 2024 spells, Elevated Sight. So what you would see is Croak sitting in the crow's nest with a piece of charcoal and a slip of parchment on the ground, on the floor in front of him. His eyes are like glowing this like ethereal blue light, and about 120 feet in the air above him is one of his spectral ravens flying around. And if you try to get his attention, he actually doesn't respond, because currently he is seeing through the eyes of the raven to kind of get like a bird's eye view of this port that we're docking into, just to like get a lay of the land.
That's so cool. I think Fiach will just stay there and watch Croak if he's in this thing, and just be quiet and watch and hang out.
Well, since we're doing this really cool spell, Croak, why don't you give me a perception check with advantage? Bird's eye view is what you will be picking up, but I do think that this is really cool.
Cool. All right. So that is going to be a 27 perception.
Very nice. Okay. Bird's eye view, flying a little bit ahead of your ship of the Halcyon, you would see that this natural wall, it doesn't create a dome. It's almost like a natural battlement of sorts, and yet you don't see anyone standing atop it. There's no archers, there's no defenses. The defenses, as far as you can tell, are completely natural. As beyond this natural break, the waters seem to calm. There's not the intense tide as the natural breaker has ceased most of that, and the water lies mostly still. Its color significantly changed as well, where it takes on this much darker, almost greenish hue. All around this natural port, you can see these rocky spires extending upwards, almost creating a maze of sorts. And looking down, you can see that there's the evidence of shipwrecks around many of these spires, of haphazard sailors who weren't paying attention closely enough. And you kind of understand why there aren't cannons or defenses or anything else, because it would be tough to sail anything significant into this port. And that's not to say that there aren't ships. As your bird continues to soar forward, you do see that there are ships that are docked here and there, some closer to the port proper, and you would be the first one to set your eyes, or at least the eyes you're perceiving through, on Esperanza. As far as you can tell, it is a quaint, somewhat busy port. Nothing clearly out of the ordinary. It's raining, and so it is a little gloomy, but not by the intent of any of the architecture here. There seem to be thatch roofs, wooden roofs, a couple that have metal sheeting on them. Seem to be a number of buildings, and people moving about as well. Wagons and beasts of burden. It's all set somewhat close to the water itself, and there seems to be a natural step system to this landmass. As the steps continue to rise up, you can tell that this alcove, this cove, rises up to meet the cliffs, that this is the closest you would get, that if you anywhere else on the island, at least from where you could tell, you couldn't actually port. You would have to climb up these cliffs, and sometimes they're not that high, sometimes they are, but this allows you immediate access from water to land. And so if you were to build a port anywhere, this would make sense. But the cliffs still do extend further in, and that's when you see, well, it's what you don't see, because all you can see beyond the boundary of the town is this dense, unbreaking canopy of jungle, just stretching on as far as the bird's eyes can see. And this canopy is this verdant green, again, laden with the water from the rain. It has this sheen on it, but there's no break to it. There's no light that can penetrate past all of this foliage. The next thing that your eyes catch is the massive structure that sits atop the cliff overlooking the rest of the town. It is a fortress, and it sticks out more than anything like a sore thumb because its architecture is so foreign to everything you know about this part of the world. It's a castle, by all definitions. It looms over, looking down this massive, almost sheer cliffside, extending out almost into the port itself. Its architecture is what you might expect if you were closer to maybe the areas of Cavalon or New Cavalon, maybe even Hadrian's Hope. It's not the kind of structures you would see around Tulakan and Hexacotl, because like even the stone itself seems imported. And it has arrow slits, it has crenellations, it has a lot of defenses that a castle of this style might have, just almost as if it was transplanted here or built by someone who isn't from here. You can spot gargoyles around the sides. You can see that there are a few people moving around the battlements. And you can see that there is also a river, a waterway, which extends into a waterfall that trickles down, I guess not even trickles, but just pours down off the cliffside and into the water proper. And that river winds and bends its way all the way across to where there is a bridge that leads across into the castle itself. I think that's the main stuff that you pick up. Nothing necessarily supernatural or out of the ordinary any more than what would be considered normal style supernatural, where you do see that there are peoples who aren't necessarily human, but nothing that would necessarily give you pause or immediate feelings of emergency.
Okay. I think that would be about all I get. It is a 1-minute concentration spell. So once I exit, the spell ends, the light like dissipates from my eyes and I blink a few times. And then I will immediately pick up the charcoal and start scribbling out as much detail of what I saw onto the parchment as I can, as like trying to make like a quick and dirty map of the area.
Yeah, absolutely. Rudimentary map, easy enough to make. 100%. Hi.
Impressive.
A little bit of time goes by. Sorry, go ahead, please.
Oh, no, that's all. Impressive.
Very much so. A little bit of time goes by, and the Halcyon, under the careful command of its captain, is able to navigate around these spires. To look at your captain's face, she has this look of intense focus as she is winding around these spires, making sure to not clip them too close, realizing that it's not just what you see above, but also what lies beneath that you need to worry about. And in what seems like both forever and also no time at all, the sails are reefed, the anchor is lowered, and launch boats are prepared. The captain comes down to speak to all of you. I am more than happy to keep the ship in port here. However, I will not dock alongside all of the others there, just in case. You understand. So the launch boats have been prepared. I will have some of my sailors bring you across, and they will bring the launches back. Should you wish to leave at any time, just signal, and we will make ready. but I am hoping this will not take too long. I am not a fan of these gloomy weather.
No. The feathers, also not a fan. The feathers don't smell that great after being wet for a while. I'm sure Anubia knows what I'm talking about. Nope, we're not doing that. All right, fine, fantastic. Yeah, I would say keep yourselves safe as much, and you and your men safe as much as possible. I don't know what we are gonna find here, but I don't know, Croak. Can your friends, if we need to get a hold of the captain for any reason, is that something that your friends can do? Just to signal up.
Croak will think for a moment. And then gesture upward, and then gesture down to himself, and then make the motion of like tying a knot. To kind of indicate that like if I'm using that spell, the spectral raven can't really like go on a horizontal plane.
Tied to you. Mm-hmm. Understood. Well, we'll figure something out.
I would like to work out with the captain real quick a signal using the dancing lights cantrip.
Sure.
And it's just like a quick remote and quiet signal. Something like have someone on the crow's nest at all times, keeping an eye out. If you see this, send boats.
Yes, absolutely. I am not permitting any shore leave for my crew, at least not at this port. So they will have plenty of time to keep an eye out and will be eager to see your signal to leave.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Good fate to all of you.
Stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Thank you for the journey.
Let's hope this is not the end of it. The launch boats are prepared for all of you. Renwick is very eager to get on board. Please.
I will actually, when I see Renwick, I will slap him on the shoulder and be like, all right, stay close to me. And I will cast non-detection on him.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I will just do that when my hand touches his shoulder. I will hit him real hard on the shoulder. Clap real hard.
What is non-detection? Go ahead and read that one to me.
For the next 8 hours, he is hidden from any divination spells. He cannot be targeted by any divination spell or perceived through magical scrying sensors.
Ooh.
Okay. You almost worry that you've like broken his shoulder with the way that he just, I mean, you hear like a snap when you hit him, and this kid needs more calcium in his diet. But he looks to you and he goes, What was that?
But you need to spend more time among soldiers, my boy. Into the boat.
All right. And he'll get in the boat. Anything anybody's doing before we're leaving? Okay. Your launches, your longboats, are rowed towards the dock. As they are you, let's see, there's 5 of you. We can say you all fit into one of the launches unless you particularly want to take 2.
I mean, there's 6 of us with Renwick, I think, so yeah.
How far are we? How far do they have to go?
We'll say about like 200 feet.
We fly that.
Okay.
Like I think Fia would probably end up just flying alongside the launch boat rather than actually being in the launch boat.
Okay. Cool.
Just to make sure that there's room for everybody else. Really.
Okay. In that case, then, let's see. Is anybody rowing, or would you let the sailors row? Because you have sailors that are going to row it back anyway.
I could row.
Okay. So Desiree at least rowing for one of the launches. The rest of you, so three of you in one boat, three in the other. Launches again, put into the water, head towards the shore. Desiree, as you are rowing, I'm assuming back to the water or back to the land, so that you can actually like row with your back muscles and everything. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw with advantage because you do see this coming.
What?
That is a 23.
Great. You are able to maneuver your launch pretty adequately as you see that there is a full-sized warship that is heading directly towards your launch. It is absolutely careening, barreling. You've basically seen it Tokyo drift around one of the spires, and it nearly, like probably within about 5 feet, creates this wake as it cuts past you, and you're able to diverge. And you watch this ship. Let's see, you have perhaps a perception of 16. You would be able to see and hear the cackling that is coming off the side of this ship, and you would see all of these little figures hanging off of the webbing from the sails and everything else, as you would essentially see a ship full of kobolds. And that ship drops its anchor maybe about 20 feet from the shore, and you hear the groan of wood as this thing almost turns on its side, coming to a stop, and rocks back and forth in the water. And as all of you are getting closer to the shore at this point, you see just dozens of little kobolds jumping into the water and scrambling their way to shore. By this time, the rest of you probably would have been not too far from the shore, and you see one little kobold put up his little hands and go, "First!" And they all just scurry further into the town.
Huh.
I think Croak would open his beak, and you would hear the noise of like a generally dissatisfied crowd at like a pub or something, as he like shakes his fist after the kobolds.
Well,
With that, go ahead, please.
I'm not sure how to feel about this. To be honest. So much for stealthily getting in there. They're gonna make a lot of noise. Make a lot of racket, aren't they? Alright.
Good cover for us, maybe.
Well,
I was just about to suggest that.
I could think of worse things. Okay.
It is, with that excitement out of the way, most certainly very overcast as you all are heading into town, and as the launches make it onto the sandy shores, this kind of gray sand. And you can see that the town is laid out before you. Maybe about 100 feet away from the sand, you start to see that there are cobblestone roads here, indicating that these aren't just dirt roads, these aren't just sandy roads. There's a level of infrastructure that has been put here, and you can see that there are several buildings laid out before you in this town. Anywhere in particular that you all wanted to go first? So again, you have this massive fortress, which is hundreds of feet above, sheer cliffs, or jagged in some places, sheer in others, very inhospitable looking. The town itself, somewhat okay. Rainy. Many of the people have their hoods up or hats up. Again, there's wagons moving about, but most people seem like they're just trying to get done with their work and get inside. But there are plenty of, buildings around. So whatever you all would like to do, the town of Esperanza is laid out before you.
I have a question. What do we know about kobolds and warships? Like, is there a specific group that we think these kobolds might... Like, who the hell are these people?
I mean, okay, if you want, you can roll for history.
I'm very curious about them specifically. What are they doing here? History, ba-ba-dum. Okay, alrighty. So it's like a 10. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, with a 10, you would know that, like, Yeah, there are kobold sailors out there, kobold pirates especially. There's no formalized kobold army by any means.
Sure.
And that's mostly because kobolds either serve aboard the dragon warships that sail out of Terraconis,
Mm-hmm.
or and even then they're just they're deckhands. They never get to be very much more than that. There's definitely no captains. But Carterthak, which is an island off the eastern side of Terraconis, is where a lot of kobold pirates tend to congregate. They're the ones that deny that dragons are the ultimate thing, that kobolds actually are an apex being all on their own. They don't need to ascend to dragonhood by any means. And a lot of, the more well-known kobold pirates and warships and things like that sail out of Carterthak. One that I'm not sure if Fia did come across or not, but one of the decently known ones are the yellow bands, all called that because they have like yellow rings along their tails. This ship that almost ran into you all, you would see that the name, which is scratched almost as if like with a chisel, a very poorly done chisel. There's no formal nameplate or anything, but scratched into the side of it is the Invincible 2. Or is it Indestructible 2? What did I write down? Let's see. Both are funny. It is Indestructible 2. So it is the Indestructible 2. And you would see that not only is it scratched in, they also have like put red paint into the scratches of it to make it kind of like stand out a little bit more. I wouldn't say that you would necessarily be super familiar with the Indestructible 2 or potentially the Indestructible 1, but this does seem to be a kobold ship, and it's even more so by the fact that looks pretty cobbled together. It looks like they have probably seen some shit and have just patched their ship together with whatever pieces they could find or take from other ships. You would imagine they probably sailed south, maybe through the Sea of Eternal Tempest and Kraken's Reach, maybe closer than that, but they're all ashore now, so you can see that there's many marks in the sand with all their little pitter-patter feet that have gone running into the town.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that. Well,
Hey.
I would say, Croak, you got the bird's eye view. I think you're leading the way.
Croak will produce his little elementary map and just spread it out, probably like on a crate on the dock, and let everyone else take a look so that we can maybe plan a route through the town.
Yeah. So you'd see there's definitely some buildings that are closer to the port itself. We can say that you all are standing on a dock which has extended outwards, and so there's wooden planks beneath your feet at this point, and the ships or the launches themselves pulling up to the sand have kind of left you here where you can just stand and wait, figuring out what you're going to do next. The launches have gone back to the Halcyon. The buildings that are closer to the shore, you presume, probably are shipwrights, maybe, storage for the fishermen, whether they're, hanging stuff up to be smoked or dried, hanging their nets, all that kind of stuff. You do see that there are a few shipping vessels, or fishing vessels here, rather. There are, like I said, other ships here too. So you can see that there's probably some that are merchant vessels, maybe some that are less notorious. Or more notorious, rather. Less notorious being the merchant vessels, more notorious being some of the other ones. But no names that necessarily ring any bells for you. The buildings you see further in, you could presume probably there might be some taverns there, some general stores, and then you see that there are some homes the further that you get in. But there's also a definitive break where you saw that there was a wall of some sort that separates the pathway that leads further up to where the castle would be, and it definitely goes into this dense part of the jungle before it pops out again, and there's a very clear line definition between where the town ends and the jungle begins.
You mentioned some less notorious merchant vessels around. Do we see anything that looks like a ship that might belong to Adderlass? And do we also see any kind of like a harbor master station that might have records of who's coming in or who's leaving the docks?
Yeah, both fair questions. You don't see any immediately. You don't see anything that would necessarily ring as like absolutely a pirate ship. I mean, the Indestructible 2, you could maybe reason that these are not the most scrupulous individuals out there. And there's a couple other ships where it's like that's probably a smuggler, but nobody that's like here to raid the town.
Yes,
there's
yeah.
no there's no cutthroats necessarily here, and you don't see anything that would absolutely have the bells ringing for like this is a pirate ship or anything called the Night Queen. So
Gotcha.
you don't see anything that's giving you a lot of pause with that. As far as a harbor master goes, there you look down the dock and there is someone who is dressed in some level of a official looking garb that is walking towards you now that does have a large book tucked under his arm. So you might have your question answered here as he walks up, and you would see that there is a half elf individual dressed in again nicer, but not going to see the king sort of nice, but just somewhat official type of garb. You don't recognize it as belonging to any official government that you've seen before. No empire or kingdom. But he walks up all the same with a little goatee and says, "Hello, all of you. Welcome to Esperanza. Just visiting?"
Yes, just visiting.
Wonderful. And I presume that your ship out there will be staying in port while you're visiting?
Yes.
Yes, it will be.
Fantastic. The docking fee is 1 gold per day to be in the port here, so you can pay that now, or we can collect when you all decide to disembark.
How
Or
about... No, go ahead. I was
We
thinking
don't have a
halvesies. Halvesies.
Have
We pay some up front now, and then we'll just pay however much we owe. Oh, I'm like adopting this accent that does not belong to me. Would it be possible to pay some amount now and then whatever's left over, the difference later? We're not
Yes,
really
if you
sure.
wish to pay up front, that's perfectly fine. How much are you willing to pay up front?
I'm gonna say 4 gold. It sounds like a good amount for it is. It's almost
A
a
4-day
week.
investment. Yes, yes, absolutely. 4-day investment should be just fine. Most people stay around that time or less. Should you wish to stay longer, just be aware of our town charter, abide by our rules, and be sure to pay our taxes.
I'm sorry, a town charter. Is
Yes,
there?
of course.
Well, I mean, sorry. Is there some?
First time in Esperanza.
Yes. Yes.
Welcome. Tourism has been, well, we're still working on it. Yes, any of the local merchants would be able to provide you with a copy of the charter. It's rather simple. Simple guidelines. Just keep your weapons stowed. Don't cause any trouble. Be respectful to everyone. The obvious laws of no theft, no murder, no taking what's not yours. Stay within the town's borders. Be respectful to our officials. And again, be sure to pay the tax.
And what tax would that be?
Are you going to stay the night?
Well, we're paid for 4 days, so I imagine so.
Yes, yes. Our tax collectors will be around at night, and they will better instruct you then.
You collect tax nightly for people who are just visiting? It's not a great way to get tourists, by the way.
Consider it a sales tax of sorts.
Still, if you're trying to up the tourism, that's not how you do it. You should talk to... Well, you don't have to. am I to say, really?
Mm-hmm. Yes, barking up the wrong tree in this sort. I am a taxpayer the same as anyone else. I don't collect them right now.
And you pay tax every night?
Oh, yes.
You don't collect them right now? Do you sometimes collect
I'm glad someone else caught that as well as I did.
Well, the tax collectors only come out at night.
That's fine.
Croak is still caught on this guy basically describing theft twice as part of the town charter.
Yes, well, if you think about it, all crime is based on taking something that's not yours, whether it be life or property or dignity. All crime is theft.
Mm. It's a
It's lovely
fascinating
meeting
outlook.
you.
So,
It's lovely meeting you.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Well, enjoy your 4 days. Should it be longer, just be aware that you will not be allowed to leave port without paying your fines and taxes.
Of course. Thank you very much.
naturally.
Mhm. And the name of your ship also. And are you from an organization you all dress rather similarly?
Are we? I don't think we are. We just happen to all like
Yes.
dark
Well,
colors.
yes, birds of a feather, I suppose. But yes, your ship name all the same.
The Perseverance.
Is it now?
Do
Well,
I
then.
do I
I
get a
also-
sense?
yeah.
Do I get a sense if this guy does in fact recognize us for who we are?
Well, first of all, we're going to make 2 rolls here.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Fia, let's make a deception roll.
Yeah, sure, you gotcha.
For Saskia, we can do an insight.
I'm also just getting like very suspicious of this guy. Like, I'm also like to do another insight.
Oh
roll
my
if I can.
God.
You may absolutely do an insight.
Deception. Oh,
Yes.
Well, not my best stat, but
That's pretty good, yeah.
oh no.
No, Gina, what'd you get?
I want everybody to know that I have a +6 to insight.
Yeah.
8.
Okay.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna use my inspiration that I got earlier for the recap for this.
That's pretty
Okay.
good, yeah.
I'm gonna like imagine
Yeah,
this that
okay,
I'm just
alright.
a little too busy trying to like break this guy's line of sight to Renwick specifically.
Yeah.
That's gonna be with. Thank God for that inspiration. That's a natural 20 for 25 total.
Love that.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
It was a 3 before.
Then he writes down the Perseverance. Abhishek, what was the insight that you got?
19.
Okay. So Saskia, there's this part where like, holy shit, does he know my last name? Does he know my parents? But you are very much like trying to just like maybe like move your head in front of Renwick's as he's also trying to look around. You're like, I'm trying to see what he's doing. What are you doing? For Anubia, there is okay. You all are wearing a lot of black with a lot of Harbinger symbology, whether it's the Triskelion or fucking Raven skulls or everything else. You're giving off a vibe. Maybe it's just that you're an adventuring group. Whatever. But I would say that definitely with the name The Perseverance, that is when you see his eyebrows raise as he writes that down and then just slams the book shut and gestures a hand forward. Enjoy your time in Esperanza. We hope that you enjoy yourselves immensely.
Thank you so much. You've been very kind.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely wait till he's out of earshot.
Fia just
He's onto us.
smiles.
Oh,
On
and if
our-
you're looking for a place to stay, might I recommend the Owl Light Inn? It is, one of our only opportunities for accommodations.
Owl Light Inn. Thank you.
Duly noted.
Hmm.
On our way out of earshot, loud enough for the harbor master to hear, I would like to comment that I hear the cuisine in this part of the world is delightful.
I just elbowed
Uh,
Desiree.
Can I take a look around and see if anyone else might be like looking our way?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody wants to do just general perception now that you're at ground level for anything that you might see, it's
Yeah.
raining, so if you have anything that can help you be extra perceptive through that, great. There's no disadvantage or anything like that necessarily, but
Rolled a 9.
14.
19 for
Yeah,
me.
there it is.
okay.
Dirty 20 for me.
Okay. So for those of 15 or lower, you're going to pick up on just general town vibes. Again, this isn't like, Belle is singing through the town and, people are complaining about eggs, but this is a town where people are going about their business. You can see that there are fishing vessels, which are some are sailing out, some are sailing in if they have decent catches. So the dock itself is kind of busy. You can hear that there's just a general murmur of the town itself, as you can also hear the creaking of wagon wheels and animals moving about, dogs barking further in. You even see some kids playing out on the street. But it's raining all the same, and so the level of frivolity is lower. Most people are standing under awnings or again have their heads covered with hoods or hats, and again are mostly just focused on what they're doing so they can get out of the precipitation. As far as those with the higher rolls, I think that was Croak and Anubia. There's a few eyes that are cast your way. A lot of them shift away quickly, and you're not 100% whether it is distrust, curiosity, but you're getting some attention. You are dressed somewhat conspicuously. You are all carrying weapons.
I'm
You're
not.
new in town. Well, you're also not carrying a lot, so I would say
It's
that
true. I'm not wearing a lot.
the-
I'm not carrying a lot. You can't.
Yeah.
My weapons
the
are not
eyes were
visible
cast
on
to you for another reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're
Two of
new
them.
in town.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a level of just attention that's being given to all of you as you walk now onto the cobblestones and find yourself in what would be one of the busier parts of town. You can see that there's this thoroughfare, there's almost a roundabout of sorts, and as you're walking towards this roundabout, staying off to the side and staying out the way of wagons, you can see that there is a statue at the center of this roundabout, and there's plenty of what would be food carts and business and things like that. Many of them are closed up because, again, people don't want to be out in the rain and getting all of their goods and supplies just water laden. But you imagine that on a decent day, this might be a more bustling area. But you can see that there's a little bit of moss that grows on basically anywhere it can, that the greenery of the jungle is ever encroaching onto the stone of these buildings, and the wood that has this early smell of rot to it, as if they're always fighting away the mildew and the dampness that extends its way reaching towards the civilization. So
That could have gone better, I feel. The harbor master back there.
Oh, I think it went well enough. I think we learned useful information.
I think about it went as well as I expected, to be honest.
I just didn't feel comfortable giving him the name of the house, Ian.
I think that was the right choice.
Absolutely.
Whatever happens on this island, it's on us to bear the consequences.
We have to figure out how we are looking for our friends.
Mm-hmm.
I am beginning to have an idea.
Oh.
Mhm.
It's not a good one.
Never is.
It seems that everyone on this island is somewhat complicit in the tax collecting and in the hierarchy that you would need to establish to have such a thing as nightly tax collectors.
I can't get
We
over
could.
that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
One or more of us could join the hierarchy. Say that's why we've traveled here.
To become a tax
And
collector.
to become a tax collector.
Do we have the time for that? Is my worry.
Like,
We could expedite the process, I'm sure. We're not. Oh. We have skills, we have abilities. We could be useful.
it's not the worst idea. If it's, to be honest, I can't think of a different. I assume that the tax collector somehow report to the lord of the city, typically is how this goes. And if we are trying to get close, can't think of another way that we can do so without just barging in, which, as much fun as that sounds, I don't think that's the correct option.
I
Certainly.
don't like our chances against that castle.
Yeah.
No.
At least doing it and keeping Moira alive. So, it's not a great idea, but I don't hate it.
Do we stay where recommended then? Because if we're trying to understand what the tax collecting is, we need to be around for it.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to go and at least keep an ear out. Who knows what else we may learn. And you always learn interesting things in inns.
We could split up as well. A few people go into the jungle, scout ahead, see if we can find some sort of path or direction towards where we need to go, where it seems obvious that we would need to head. And a few people wait for our evening visitor.
I feel like this is what we did last time.
It is.
It very much is what we did last time,
Absolutely.
for sure.
It worked out so well last time.
It so did.
Totally. Yeah.
Maybe this is just how we operate.
Yeah. Well, there's
Like,
a lot of us. We're conspicuous as a group. We're slightly less conspicuous when when we're in packs of 2 or 3. And we're harbingers. That's how we're used to operating, is in smaller packs. So, well,
Splinter Cell Harbinger.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't hate that. I'm also really curious about this band of kobolds. Like, there's something about them that is familiar. They've very much, but also, what are they doing here? Why are they here? Are they here to party in Esperanza? I'm very confused about
question. It is a fair question.
And they said, what did they say? First when they landed? Who does that? What is that about? I don't understand.
Kids these days.
I know. All right, well.
All right. I suppose Renwick and I will go look at this inn. I don't know if anybody else wants to come.
I'll join you.
I'll go with Croak to go investigate the jungle then, if that's all right with you, brother.
Croak will nod.
Right.
I think I will go to the inn.
I like that.
All right. Well, wait, let me see if I got anything to give you before you go. Let's see. I will cast aid on both of you going in the jungle. So that means you get your hit point maximum and current hit points increased by 10.
Oh.
Ooh,
Dang.
that's good.
Okay.
Oh, wrong button.
That's.
That means I have no more third level spell slots.
Oh wow. Okay. That's fine. I'm sure that's fine.
Yeah, totally.
Just an N.
8's up to 3 people, right?
To anybody who's going into the jungle, so it's the 2 of you.
Hmm.
Wait. Let me actually read my shit. Oh, yes, 3. I only need to cast it once. I'll also put 10 on Runwick.
Probably a good idea. Yeah, I think he probably would need it the most out of all of us.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I only need to cast it once. You're right. Because Saskia is not thinking any weird shit's happening at the inn for now. So just on you 3.
Okay. So we have Saskia, Anubia, Desiree, and Renwick all heading to the tavern, and then Fiach and Croak are going to the jungle. Is that right? Or at least the edge of the jungle?
I think we're sort of scouting to check out tracks and right? Yes.
To the edge of town? Sure.
Mm-hmm. Edge of town, see potential egresses, trails, etc.
Sure.
We were warned to stay in the town limits, though.
We were.
So you gotta be careful.
Oh, I don't. Look, I don't plan on going too far outside. At least not at the first opportunity without the rest of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that in mind then, and with us pretty close to our break, let's go ahead and just take our break now. And when we come back, we will see what the tavern holds and what the edge of the town has lie waiting for you. Stick around, folks. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. Pet Your Pets, do the things. Please enjoy our ad reel. Please remember that we are playing in support of the Trans-Latina Coalition, and you can donate at any time to add some incentives to our game. Just in case things do break bad for these particular Harbingers, you can add some crits advantages, or if you want to make sure it's extra spicy, you can add some black spots and make things just a little more complicated for them. All that and more, and you get to support a great organization. And as always, you can see all of our links at beacons.ai/swordandkey, especially if you're looking for some discount codes. So stick around. We'll be back.
Alrighty. Thank you, everybody.
Vast and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Horizon's Call. Let's jump back into things. Our Harbingers have made it to the port of Esperanza. They have made it ashore. They have talked to what I was told by my partner is a slimy, almost unanimously considered slimy dockmaster, who has warned you of the town charter as well as some taxes that need to be paid nightly. You all have decided to break into 2 groups, with the more avian-aligned party members going towards the jungle, and the rest of you, along with your new companion Renwick, an acolyte, going to the local tavern. Let's start with the tavern goers. So, walking through town, Renwick would actually pipe up at this point, and he's got kind of like a half cloak that he borrowed probably from a sailor, so he's got a hood that's trying to keep some of the rain off of him. Otherwise, he's wearing just regular commoner's clothing, whites and browns, and rather drab but boring clothing. He is not armed by any means, and he stands, right around, I don't think I described this before, he's right around like 5'10". Although he's pretty nondescript as far as things go. He kind of blends in with everybody else. But he does lean forward to Saskia. So we're going to the tavern then?
Yeah.
Great. I do know it is called the Owl Light Inn. We were informed that should we, when we were to plan our assault on the castle, of course, that we might be able to find room and board if we were quiet enough about it at the Owl Light. I believe the owner's name is Lyskander, and yes, perhaps we might even find friendly faces there as well.
Okay. Does your folks often stay there? Like,
I
how
believe
often
some.
is this a rotating?
Oh, we try to have an annual excursion to try to deal with vampires here or there. It has been as I understand it, many years since we have planned a full assault on Saint-Domingue, but High Commander Artorias was... He was... Well, I see his hubris now. At the time, it seemed like confidence. So, hindsight being what it is, of course.
Oh, this is good for you. This is good for you. And, maybe we should get to the inn tavern before we talk instead of being out here on the street.
Yes. Yes.
But thank you. Thank you very much. Have you heard anything else about customs here? Anything else to expect at the inn?
I am told that many people in this town are not what they seem, that there are shape changers and illusionists about, that you shouldn't trust your senses necessarily at any turn.
Very astute. Good advice for anywhere you're at.
Is it? Am I being helpful?
Actually, yes.
Good. All right then. Let's see if we can have that continue.
All right, just stick close.
Yes. The tavern, the Owl Light Inn, is made rather apparent to you. You see how the river cresting down from the waterfall that comes down off the cliff and then turns into the riverway does wind and bend at certain intervals through the town. The inn itself is set right next to the waterway of the river at one of its thinner points, and so a little bit of water trickles around what you would assume to be the backside of it. The front of the tavern is lit by these green lights, this almost lime green light, and it has this painted red door in front of you, these double doors that are open with a sign that is placed outside, and it has an owl image painted onto it in very clear common lettering, the Owl Light Inn. And you can hear music coming from inside. Anything y'all want to do before entering?
No. Though, actually, I think we should probably establish who is doing the talking. We are not much talkers here in this trio.
I think Des followed us to the end, didn't she?
Yes.
Yes. We're a very quiet, stoical bunch, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Let's see.
Well,
how
I'm
more than happy to let you all. Go ahead.
How amenable are we to the plan I recommended?
Wait in the room for the tax collectors, and heavy air quotes on tax collectors.
I could begin laying some groundwork, but only if we're comfortable going that route.
I mean, sure.
That's fine with me.
All right. How about this? We are traveling together, and we've made a stop here, and I am interested in the cuisine of the area. I'll leave it up to you as to whether or not you want to participate as well. But I think we can probably get away with just one. Sound reasonable?
Sounds reasonable.
Good enough to me.
Renrick, do you understand what we're saying?
Not really. You're going to... Are you saying that you want to be a vampire?
That is precisely what I am saying.
All right. Yes, I do understand then. But do you actually want to?
Not particularly, but if it will get the job done, it will get the job done. As I hear, in its early stages, it's reversible.
All right. I don't know how I feel about that, but all right, I will go along with it. Am I to say anything? Am I to? Can I be helpful in this?
Admittedly, I'm not sure.
All right, I will step back, but let me know if I can step into things whenever you need.
Of course.
Yes.
Just laying groundwork for now, so.
All right.
Then I suppose that would mean, Desade, you should probably handle the securing the room to help establish yourself as a leader of our merry band, I guess.
I think so. To the inn, then.
Alright, into the tavern.
Stepping out of the rain, you step into the foyer of this rather large wooden building. It does have red shingled rooftops that are kind of tiered, indicating that there is a second, maybe even third floor to it. It's slightly raised, indicating there's probably a basement as well. As you walk in, for Des and Anubia with the higher passive perceptions, you would notice that on the double doors on both sides of them, there's carvings into them that are subtle, but not subtle enough that you totally miss them. It doesn't seem to be a complete symbol, but you imagine that if the doors were completely closed, it might create some sort of singular image. You're just not 100% sure what that image is. You walk the foyer and see that there are a number of mirrors, some like still laying on the floor, some that are actually on the wall itself. There's furniture that is very mismatched in here. You see paintings of captains that have probably long passed, a few paintings of just ships. All of the paintings are just slightly off kilter, and there's dust on different places. And from further in, as you take this right turn and then another left turn, you can see there are bathrooms off to the right, but straight ahead is the bar. And this is where the music is at its loudest, and all of the senses hit all of you like a brick wall as the smell of stale beer and sweat and general frivolity mixed with the cacophony of the music that is being played, mixed with the laughter and jeering that is coming from all of these people at the bar, many of whom turn to look at you as you walk in. And what you would see is behind the bar is a humanoid-looking individual. That is to say, until you realize that his lower half is serpentine, where he has the lower half of a snake. His upper half is humanoid-esque, but still has a few scales and some kind of serpentine features. Once you see him smile, you see his fang-like teeth, these yellow-slitted eyes. There are at least half a dozen kobolds that are all clamoring around bar stools and shoving each other off of bar stools to sit on them, and kind of just this cycle of like another one then shoves that one off and then sits on top of it. The kobolds all have these red markings on them and seem to be kind of like self-contained in their little bit of calamity that they're creating. Otherwise, there are a number of other patrons that are sitting about at tables at the bars themselves. And again, these lime green lights that are illuminating everything with these red carpets that extend all throughout, covering this darkened, almost musty looking wood. Could I get a saving throw from all of you? A wisdom saving throw from all of you, please.
Ooh,
Hello?
wisdom.
Wait, anybody standing near me gets a +4 to their saving throw. Yes, because I have an aura of protection.
Saskia the goat for a reason.
Brew.
Ooh! 27.
Very nice.
24.
Very nice.
Dirty 20.
Okay. All really good.
Wait, I'm worried about Renwick. What did he roll?
What did Renwick roll?
He
I'm worried about Renwick.
he also gets a +4.
+4 for Renwick. Let's see what he got.
He's standing in 5 feet of me.
He is. Let's see. That's a nat 20 for Renwick, so
Damn!
that is a success for him. Okay. So, what I would like to know from each of you is Okay, so all of you are aware that something is probing your mind. This is a detect thoughts spell that is being cast on all of you simultaneously. So what I would like to know is just surface thoughts. The thing isn't going to be able to delve much deeper, but what is maybe one thing that's going across your minds at this moment?
Oh, these fucking kobolds. That's literally the thought.
Okay. What about for Anubia?
It's probably gonna alternate between I'm really glad to get out of the rain, and I am itching for a fight.
Renwick is completely immune to this because detect thoughts is a divination.
That's right. You're right. I had that in my head, which is why I didn't roll, but then yeah.
I'm so worried about it.
And then Desiree, what's surface thoughts for Des?
Surface thoughts would be the feeling of my heart pounding in my chest and this strange inner monologue that says something to the effect of, I wish I'd never known you. I wish you had never lifted your veils of light and shadow to pull me into your breast only to toss me back into this illusion. I could have borne it if I never knew what it was you would take from me. But if you wish distance from me, then distance you will get.
Okay. That feeling of having your thoughts probed fades pretty quickly, but you all are aware that as these dozens of eyes are cast over to you as you walk in, someone in this room has cast a spell. You're just not exactly sure who. So, you have the Kobold's bar, again, a number of other patrons. You can smell the aroma of cooking coming off to the left as you walk in, indicating there's a kitchen behind the bar. And there's, of course, the bartender who Renwick informed you his name was the Skander, who is behind the bar and is serving drinks with his massive coiling body, kind of taking up the entire length of the bar as he slithers back and forth to try to tend to all of the kobolds' needs, as well as the other patrons who are not causing as much of a ruckus. But he looks over as you walk in. Please make yourselves welcome. Sit wherever you like. All seats are open. Just put those down. Don't eat the bowl. He's like snatching something out of a kobold's mouth. Who's What would y'all like to do?
I turn to Saskia. Saskia, do you have a sense who might be able to introduce us to the local cuisine?
I do not at this. I think she's like worried about these kobolds. So it's gonna take her a hot second. Oh, I know what you mean. Then she is going to divine sense really quick.
Okay.
Let me mark that off. To see if there are any undead. Yep, there we go. Let's see. Celestial Fiends undead. In a 60-foot radius for the next 10 minutes.
Okay. So you do not pick up on any celestials, fiends, or undead in this immediate space. If anything, within 30 feet, I would say that you get actually, because I know you also pick up on things that are hollowed or desecrated.
Yes.
You pick up on something that is hollowed, which is 30 feet below you. If you get an indicator towards the basement area.
Not in this area, I will say. Nobody of interest. Unfortunately. I think we're just gonna have to get a room.
I think so. I'll go rent it.
Okay.
I will approach Lyskander. Is it morning or evening? What time of day is it?
You're getting past noon at this point, so we can say it's right around like what would be like 3 p.m.
Gotcha.
At the time that you're going into the tavern here.
Good afternoon. I'm looking for 2 rooms.
Yes, I believe I have those available as long as these little things don't eat me out of house and home. Yes, 2 rooms. It is a silver a night. How long are you planning to stay?
We'll be going day by day. It's unclear.
Yes, room and board or just room?
Room and board.
Wonderful. I will have those rooms available to you on the 2nd floor. A wonderful view of the bay. Yes, I will see that they are prepared within the hour. I just need 5 extra hands. All right. How many will be staying in total?
4 individuals at the moment. Or 4 individuals at the moment.
Yes. Wonderful. 2 each. Okay. Great. He also under the bar and pulls out a piece of parchment. Here is a copy of our town charter. Please make yourself familiar with it. Be aware that tax collection happens every night.
I actually meant to ask you a little bit more about that. We had a brief conversation with the harbor master about the evening taxes, but he was whisked away on some information before I was able to follow up with him. I'm curious if you could tell me more.
I am sorry you had a run-in with Harbor Master Clive. Yes. Tax collection happens every evening. The tax collectors come down from the fortress above. It is a simple matter. It is something that is, to people who aren't from around here, it might seem a little strange, odd customs and whatnot. It took me a little bit to accustom myself to them, but it doesn't hurt as bad as you might think.
Excellent. So, what is the currency specifically that is accepted for taxation?
It is blood. A bit of iron. It is the iron price that we all pay. No more than a small trickle, and they bring healers with them every time to see that the flow is staunched. And if you pay a little at the time, then it makes no matter. You don't really want to get in arrears as things go. The back pay can be significant.
Understandable. And do you, as a citizen, find these taxpayers or tax collectors to be an agreeable sort, the type who might be open to having additional discussion? Certainly, I'm not trying to dodge my taxes.
Oh, that is good news. I do not want any trouble for my business. Or?
I'm trying to simply learn more about the custom.
I would say that the tax collectors are typically more silent than they are chatty, more focused on their business, real in and out sort of types. They have many taxes to collect every night, of course. So they will come with the fog, and they will take their payment and retreat with the fog. And they that has been their course for as long as I have been here. Are you? What are you asking?
Well, I suppose we'll see. Thank you.
All right. Yes. Thank you. Like I said, your rooms will be available within the hour.
Thank you. I will relay the information I have received to Abhishek, Anubia and Saskia.
Yeah. By the time that you go back over there, a kobold has wandered over to Saskia and Anubia, and like hands on his hips is standing there. He's got this coat that almost has turned into a cape for how big it is on him, and a little like tricorn hat that's hanging off is like trying to fit with the horns on his head. And he's just looking across. So, what are you ladies doing in a town like this?
She just stares at she's quickly developing a dislike of random kobolds. Sir?
Captain?
Sir?
Captain?
Are you the one who almost run over our tenders on the way in?
Oh shit, that was you guys? Yeah, sorry about that. I was a little distracted trying to get to be the first one to shore, but I was. So that should be a consolation to you, I think.
Creaks over to Anubia.
He also looks up at Anubia. I like you, you're tall.
You're pretty short.
Yeah. Gonna climb you like a tree.
Okay.
I think I might be barking up the wrong one.
Woof. You know, maybe you guys would have heard of me. I'm a pretty famous captain.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Are you?
Sure am. Captain of the Red Bands, you know. Captain of the Indestructible 2. It's extra indestructible.
Alright.
So what happened to the Indestructible 1? Not indestructible enough?
No. It ran into some issues. But, you know, I made it off of there, so... Must be pretty good at my job.
Lovely. And what are you doing in town?
I mean, we're just here on shore leave, just making our way down south. Rowing past places and passes, and we're homebound. Doodle-doodle-doo.
Okay.
Yep, you know, sometimes adventure just calls to old Captain Nucksack, and you really you can't deny adventure when it comes calling, you know? Just gotta reach out and just really fondle adventure. Just really get your hands up in there, you know?
I think like Saskia is just like leaning, very fixed. Okay.
He'll turn his Desiree is also walking up. Oh, there's three. All right. Well, things are looking up for old Captain Nucksack.
Good afternoon, Captain Nutsack. Did I see you?
It's a nuck with a hard. It's a k. It's a nuck. It's a nucksack. Yeah.
Forgive me, I misheard.
That's all right.
I saw you on the shore earlier. You barely got ahead of us. Is that correct?
Oh, I see. We're doing a little negging. All right.
Oh, forgive me. I only meant to congratulate you on a race well won.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I did pretty good. I was pretty quick.
You were?
Yeah. Sorry, I almost ran over you. I was not meaning to. That just happened. You get, just, laser focus, really locked in, and just really get those blinders on, you know.
Absolutely. With such a large ship, it must be challenging to avoid all of the other things in the water.
So, we make it all the same. It's okay. Nothing too big for old Captain Nucksack. He winks over at Anubia. Yeah, wink.
Anubia is very much resisting the urge to just absolutely punt him like a football.
So, you're all staying here?
Yes, we are.
All right. Well, I was sleeping on my ship. So, if you all just get a hankering in the middle of the night or whatnot, you can come on by the Indestructible too. We're not that far from shore, and kobolds know how to party.
Sure.
Yeah. If you need to, just look for my first mate. He should be around. His first mate Flucker. So you just go out the street and yell Flucker, and he'll show up. He answers to that most often.
We will be sure to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you will. Yep.
Thank you for your time, Captain.
Oh, hey, it's on the house. And then he winks with both eyes. Wink, wink. Okay then.
As he's leaving, I think I'm going to cast Thaumaturgy on my voice, so it's a little louder than usual, but I am speaking at a very, under my thing, and I'm like, alright, good meeting you, sir. And it will... I'm not talking very loud, but it's got, that weird, sometimes when things are, weirdly soft but echoing, that's what I'm gonna do when he's leaving.
See a shiver run down his spine. He just turns back and goes, "Yeah, you're gonna be thinking about Mrs."
This guy.
Men.
This guy.
Men. Never change. Always the same.
Which just goes, I didn't know what to do there. That was...
No.
I thought I was next, honestly.
No, I actually, above table, I'm like, oh god. What is a kobold gonna... Anyway. So we have a room. How many?
We have 2 rooms.
Excellent.
The tax collectors collect in blood. They come down.
Of course they do.
They come down from the castle with a fog, and then they return as the fog departs.
Fun. Alright. Well,
Anubia will visibly bristle at the mention of them. Like you confirm that they do collect in blood. So yeah.
The locals seem to, at least the local I spoke to, seems to chalk it up to regional custom. Says it doesn't hurt too much, and that healers follow the tax collectors. So, as far as I can tell, it's all rather normative and mundane here.
okay. Well, I guess there's not much... I can't imagine what else we'd be doing, but waiting for this.
I think so.
Well, I guess the question is, who will be sleeping with who in the rooms?
I mean, I would like to keep an eye on our friend here.
Then Anubia with me.
Sounds good.
Alright. Can I look around and see if I can identify anybody who's watching us too closely and who looks like they might be a spellcaster?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check for that, unless you... I mean, perception is the main one, unless you were going around and trying to pick up clues about everybody and going table to table, in which case we might consider that more investigation.
No, I'm just taking a glance around to see anybody who's following us too closely. Actually, I don't want that one. Oh my god. What is this? Okay, I think that is a 9 plus... What is my percent? It's not great. It's 11.
Okay. 11, you look around. Magic is a somewhat common thing in Damaris. But you don't see anybody that's very clearly a wizard. You definitely are getting some attention. And there is one guy who's at the far end of the bar. He's an older, half dwarven man, and he's got, kind of these graying mutton chops, and he's kind of scowling across the bar at all of you. especially as you're glancing around. You like catch his eyes staring at you, and he's got, you know, a pint of beer, just this metal tankard that he swigs out of and kind of slams back down. He's definitely seems more inebriated than anything else, and it doesn't seem like he's casting any spells at you. Otherwise, as you're looking around, it might be the Lysander has some magic, but he seems very occupied with all of the kobolds at the bar. Everyone else seems to be kind of minding their business after they've gotten the initial glance at you. But the half-dwarf at the bar is the only one that's looking at you. And when he meets your eyes and takes that swig and slams his drink down, he takes this and just kind of looks down, and he's like looking at his glass. He's not looking at you anymore.
Alright, I think I'm just gonna not mention it, because if he just looks drunk, then he just looks drunk. Alright. Wait. I don't want to cast too many spells, is the thing. Alright, yeah, that's it for me.
Alright. Let's cut over to our jungle crew with Fiach and Croak. So, for the two of you, walking away from the rest of your group, who you have left in at least at the door of the tavern, because you would have to walk past the tavern to get to the far end of the town of Esperanza. As you were walking that way, you're passing through the heart of the town and beyond. You passed through that roundabout, you've passed through most of the other businesses, and the further and further you get, the more the businesses fade away and homes start to pop up. Smaller, pretty humble as far as things go. Thatched roofs for the most part. You can see that there are, especially with the rain and everything, there are candles and lanterns that are lit in many of them in the windows to indicate that they, you know, are trying to provide some light to this otherwise rather gloomy day. And it does take you an hour or two to walk through the town. It is somewhat sizable, and especially at, you know, kind of a calmer pace, so as not to necessarily draw attention. And with the rain and everything, you're able to wind your way through these cobblestone streets, and it gets to a point where the buildings grow small enough that you see just a couple of shacks, a couple of yards, maybe some areas where people have personal gardens where they're growing some food. But the further and further you get, the more and more closer you get to the jungle, the more and more the jungle tends to encroach. And you start to see these larger plants and the moss and the vines just reaching, just trying so desperately to reach in and strangle the town with its ever-growing intense verdancy. But you get to the far end of the town where there is a stone wall that is maybe about 4 feet high, and it extends from the far end of the cliff face well into another series of rocks that kind of, you know, extend further out. You're kind of set into this cove again, and it's at this point there is a break in the wall where there is an archway, again wide enough for 2 to 3 wagons to pass through if they were all riding right next to each other. No gate, no blockade. But standing here at the edge, you can see that there is just a single guard. He's got a bucket helm, some pretty basic leather armor, carrying a halberd. Standing, just doesn't even really seem to mind you as you all walk up. But just beyond that archway, the jungle just looms. Just this incredibly dense green, with the path extending into what is essentially shadow. With the lack of light coming out of the sky and the density of the canopy, the pathway, which turns from cobblestone back to dirt, just disappears only within about 50 feet from where you stand. You assume it still is there, you just can't see where it goes.
Sure. All right. Well, brother mine, they did say not to leave the town border, and I assume that's what this guard is protecting against. But, My thought is we could play this one of two ways. We could either both try and sneak around this guard. I mean, well, we could take out the guard and try and basically circumvent him altogether. I could also distract him while you go do your scouty sneaky thing and do some investigating. I don't love it, and I don't want you to go too far, but
how many guards can we see from our position? Just the one?
Just the one.
all right.
How tall is the wall?
Oh, about 4 feet.
Okay. Croak is going to crouch down. He's going to cast Elevated Sight again, just to, try and see if he can get a look at what's on the other side of the wall. See if there's other guards patrolling the perimeter.
Okay. How elevated are you? Are you going above the canopy, or are you just going over the wall, just 4 feet high?
Over the wall, for now.
Okay. Yeah. With that, I mean, I'm not gonna. You don't have to make a roll. We can use passive perception for that. Even with the slight bird's eye view. Other side of the wall, you don't see anyone or anything. You see that the path again goes about 50 feet, and then it takes a curve into the jungle. You can't really see where it goes from there. You could absolutely, I mean, if you want to fly the bird further into the jungle, that's something you could most certainly do. But there's nothing on the other side of the wall. There's maybe about 10 feet where some of the jungle encroachment has been cut back, and so you can see some hacking away that's been done, some tilling of the earth. But beyond that, it turns into almost immediate wild, where it seems like this is probably almost a weekly, if not daily, thing to try to keep the jungle from growing into, over, and through the wall itself.
Okay. Croak will blink his eyes as he calls back the raven. He'll point to the guard, hold up a single finger.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna scratch his beak. And then he's gonna look around. Do I see any loose, maybe rocks anywhere?
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're near a stone wall. You're in a town. There would definitely be some loose stones, depending on how big you're looking for.
Okay. In that case, I am going to hold up the rock. I'm going to point to it and then gesture off to one side of the tree line, and then gesture to the two of us and point to the other side of the tree line.
Mm-hmm. I like the way you think.
Okay. And then Croak will take a look around, make sure no one's looking, and then he's going to throw the rock off to one side of the tree line to make a noise.
Okay. A clattering noise is heard from the tree line, and the guard, who really wasn't paying much attention at all, he kind of almost had his helmet down. He wasn't fully asleep, but was leaned against the archway, the stone archway, picks his head up and kind of looks through a little bit, and he looks up at the sky and tries to gaze through. It seems like he's trying to tell what time of day it is. And he pokes his head back beyond the wall, and you just hear him go, "I ain't fucking doing this today." And you see him just go walking further into town. Are you two hiding?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and give me just.
Croak? I think so.
Give me a stealth roll. If you're just standing off.
Duck
Go ahead,
into.
Please.
Yeah, we would probably duck into
Mm-hmm.
A side alley or something.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, yeah, he walks past. It doesn't even seem like he's looking for you guys. Doesn't seem like he's looking for anybody. He just walks down the street, and you can kind of hear him just muttering to himself, it's gonna clock out here soon anyway. It's getting late enough, and not fucking deal with this today. Nope, not doing it. He just goes walking off, and at that point, there's no one else really around. The archway is unguarded.
Well, shall we?
Croak will nod, take another look around to make sure we are not being watched, and we will exit through the archway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to do as we head out, but no, I think, yeah, you know what? We're just gonna do a little bit of a mage armor on myself, just for funsies. That just brings my AC up by 1, I think, based on everything. Yeah. Before heading out. That's all. I think Fiach would be looking for like a sign of movement through here. Like you said, it was big enough for carts to come through. I assumed that, and we know that the we hadn't heard where they come from, but it's a safe assumption that they're probably heading towards, that this might be where the said tax collectors come through, but not entirely sure.
Sure.
But if there's anything, what kind of tracks we see where they might go?
Yeah. Go ahead. Let's do. We could call this perception. We could also call this survival, especially if you are looking for tracks. So if you and Croak want to do either of those, survival is a great one. If you're looking for, like, especially animals, plants, that sort of thing, get a vibe for that. Perception is just going to be what you're picking up with your senses.
I think
If you want to look for tracks, I might look in like a lot to see like where there might be any like disturbed vegetation, like animals or people might have been traveling through. So I'll roll survival for that.
I mean, I feel like since I said tracks, I should be rolling survival. Perception I'm slightly better at, but I think since that's, we'll stick with survival and hope for the best. That'll work. That's not terrible. It's a 14 for me.
Okay.
That is a 21 on my end.
Yeah.
Okay. So Fiach was doing survival, Croak was doing perception. Is that right?
Survival for me as well.
Survival for both. Great. Okay. So what you are picking up, we'll start with Fiach, and then we'll add some stuff with Croak. So starting out, you can see that this is a somewhat well-traveled path. You can see that there are wagon marks, or at least wheel marks, that seem like they come through here somewhat frequently. Almost to the point where you can see that there is almost the rut of wheels where it has been carved out in this dirt path. And even as it's carved out, you can see that this wasn't always a dirt path. There is cobblestone beneath, but the jungle is just always creating this extra covering to it. So the wheels are cutting through that and creating these wells that they're carving out. And so you are getting the feeling that they are coming through probably daily or nightly. Beyond that, you can see that there are several boot prints that are likely traveling alongside whatever this wheeled vehicle is, as well as hoof prints indicating that it's probably pulled by horses, is what you would guess. Aside from that, track-wise, you don't really see any animal tracks. Well, I will say for Fiach. For Croak, you would note that for the most part, boots and wheel markings. However, you note that just off the path, there is one very large lupine paw print. And with the roll size of what you got, you're thinking either direwolf or perhaps werewolf. Would be the two things that could make something this size. So those are the first two things that come to mind. There are plenty of large wolf-like creatures that exist out in the world, but those are the two. If we're Occam's razoring this, strangely enough, werewolf is the more common of the Occam's razor. Other than that, I would say that one of the things that really strikes you is how quiet this jungle is. Jungles are not really known to be quiet. They typically are full of bird sound and animal sounds, whether it be, monkeys or any variety of fauna. this jungle is incredibly quiet and is dense in the sense that once you get like into under the canopy itself, sound is really muddled. It's significantly darker the further you go in. So I imagine you haven't gone like fully beyond that point where the light breaks, and it's pretty dim light already. But Croak, you do hear a little bit further in the sound of something scraping on wood. It's very soft. It's not something Fia picks up on. It's only something you pick up on as you are like using these tracking ranger abilities. But you do get the sound of, again, something scraping on wood.
Would I be able to tell how far away the sound is coming from?
Less than 50 feet.
Less than 50 feet. Okay. Would I be able to get a general idea of like how big whatever is making the sound is?
Hard to tell.
Okay.
Definitely, it's not huge. This isn't like something barreling through the forest. This is something that, from what you can tell, didn't want to be heard. Because you don't hear it again.
Okay. Croak will slowly make his way over to Fiach and like nudge her to get her attention.
What is it?
Point to the side of his head where an ear would be, and then point in the direction of where he heard the sound, and then point to a tree and make like a clawing motion.
Just one? Do I know?
He nods. He will also point out the lupine track that he had found.
Big dog. Not unheard of when it comes to these type of creatures. When you have vampires, you'd often see these along with them. I don't know about you, but I'm tempted to see who's out there. If it's just one. Or should we not? I kind of want to, though.
Croak will scratch his beak and then draw his short bow.
Mm-hmm. You and I, we can take it. It's just one.
Let's see. Where is that? Okay. He will reach into one of his belt pouches, pull out a pinch of ash, and smear some on his forehead, and then some on your forehead as he casts Paths Without a Trace. You watch as the shadow under our feet kind of spreads out a little bit, and the tracks that we left walking out of town start to disappear as we start to move.
Right.
Good thinking.
If you're going to be doing that, go ahead and roll stealth, please.
Okie dokie. And this is plus 10 for Pass Without a Trace still?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So that is 23 for me.
30.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, Croak.
So pretty hidden then. Okay. And you all go further into the jungle here, following the pathway that is provided to you. It is, I'm going to say at this point, with the lack of like light that's in the sky, this is going to be a dark environment very quickly. It's dim for a little bit, but it is dark. Do either of you have dark vision?
I sure don't.
Okay.
don't think Ken could do.
This is good.
Okay. You are hidden, but also cannot necessarily see
Correct.
where you are. So,
This is fine.
do either of you have a light source or a way of navigating?
No.
Torches.
Yeah. Do I have I? Do not. Oh, well, actually. Not. No. No, I don't.
Okay. If you do provide a light source, I will just need the stealth roll with disadvantage. You can still add the pass without trace, of course, but we'll roll again. We'll take the lower one.
I think.
Or any sort of light source, I should say. Otherwise, it's going to be it's going to be slow going. You can still do it, but, think of walking essentially when it's night and there's no light source. You're going to be careful not to trip over something in what is otherwise a jungle pathway.
So roll that stealth again, or are we going to use it?
Yeah.
Let's see.
So we still get the bonus. That is a 27 on my end.
That is 17 on mine.
Okay. So, illuminated as far as what you can see, you now have bright light in an immediate area, depending on what light source you're using, and then dim light a further bit from that. You pass into the darker part of this jungle, and you can see that the path is laid out before you, and it does wind through the trees here. And it also does, again, seem like there is a level of upkeep. It's not super intense where they have cut back the trees distance from the path, but the path is maintained at its widest point consistently as you move. And passing quietly through this area, it is, again, incredibly silent in here. Let's go ahead. If you want to use your past perceptions, great, because I know that Fiach has a pretty high one, Croak has a pretty high one. If you want to try to roll for a higher one, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we can maintain the passive perceptions as what you're picking up on.
I think I'm happy to use Fiach's passive perception with a 20.
Yeah, I'm fine using passive. I think we'd be focusing on staying quiet.
Yeah, same.
Certainly. Okay. Walking further into the jungle then, is there a point where you're going to turn back, or are you looking to go as far as you can?
I feel like we would be trying to discover the source of the sound that Croak had heard.
So we would probably go the 50 or so feet towards where I heard the sound coming from, just to check that area out.
Okay. Following as best as you can to track, and you did roll pretty high for that survival, so following the source of that sound as closely as you can, you reach a point where the road is bending at a pretty decent curve, and you see that there is a tree just off to the side of the road. It's this rather thick jungle tree, and you see probably what the source of that noise was, or at least the evidence of the source of that noise. As you can see on this tree, carved into the bark, are claw marks which extend maybe about 15 feet up the tree to one of its larger branches and extend downwards as if something was sliding down the tree and using its claws to slow its descent. And you would see there's some disturbed vegetation at the bottom, but you don't immediately see any creatures around.
How high up the tree is the bottom of these scratch marks?
The bottom goes all the way down to the ground, so we're talking maybe 3 feet, indicating this is probably a medium-sized creature.
Okay. And how many? Can I tell how many claws are in each little track?
You see 4, but there's a 5th one that kind of is intermittent, indicating something with an opposable thumb.
Okay. So not bear.
No.
Probably werewolf.
Probably. Can't fly. but can climb.
Are there any tracks on at the base of the tree that might indicate where this creature might have gone off to?
Let's do investigation or survival for that.
Sure.
I will. I'd rather help Croak with this, if possible, rather than me roll myself.
You can absolutely provide advantage.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Survival of 22.
Yeah.
Great. You would see that there are footprints, not boot prints, but these are would look like humanoid feet. The biggest difference to them is, have you ever seen like bear tracks before? Bears don't have retractable claws, and so the claws also leave small indents where their paws meet the ground. These are similar, except they're humanoid feet, but you can see where there are extended claw marks which extend beyond the 5 toes into the soft earth of the jungle ground. And you can see where there is a landing and then running off. And as your Kenku eyes are tracking the distance, you look up, and with the torchlight or whatever light source you're holding, even though you yourself are hidden, that light source is just bright enough that you see it reflecting off of eyes otherwise completely hidden in shadow in the jungle. And Fia, as you hear a growl coming from behind you as you are assisting your brother, it's immediately pops into your head something that your Owlin Harrowspecs told you, something that Evander told you as something that is spoken about with Sangdamar, that the jungles are infested with feral vampires.
Right.
And so I will need both of you to roll for initiative.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, that's low. That's fine. It's an 8 for me.
It's a 9 for me.
Let's go.
Going back to back.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Let's go.
8 and a 9. Let's get some music here. So, let me roll for these feral vampires here. Okay. Where are you guys? There we go. All right. So an 8 and a 9, and that's going to be a 12 plus 2. So it's going to be a 14. So the feral vampires are going to have their attacks first. So we're going to do... So, who got the 8 and who got the 9?
I got the 8.
I was
Okay.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. So, feral vampire, then Croak, then Fia. That is how we will do it. Okay. The feral vampires are going to take their attacks. There's going to be, let's start with just 1 each. So we're going to have 2 claw attacks coming at Croak. This is a +5 to hit. So this thing is going to launch itself at you. And that is going to be a 14 and a 23. So I believe, what is your AC? So just the 23 hits.
Yes.
So Croak, you're going to take 10 points of slashing damage. And you are currently grappled as this thing digs its claws into you and then goes to wrap its body around you, its legs and its arms. And you see these very almost distended jaws with this recessed lips and these very jagged looking teeth. It has these larger pointed ears. Otherwise its body is gray and hairless. You see rags of clothing hanging off of this thing, and it almost like Gollum like has wrapped its body around you, and now these teeth are just gnashing towards you and kind of like gnashing around either side of your beak. For Fia, something that you didn't even know was behind you, as these things are velociraptoring, will launch itself at you, and it is going to try to attempt a bite. So, I need a Constitution saving throw from you, please. Your DC is 13.
Constitution save, DC 13. Fantastic. Alrighty. That might be doable. That's a 15 on the die for 18 total.
Great. You were able to dodge out of this way as this thing launches itself teeth first and tries to dig into your shoulder, and it crumples into a heap and then kind of like reforms itself around into this hunched, very animalistic form. At this point, there are going to be two others that will hop down from the trees and will.
There's more than one, of course.
Start to move towards you as well. They will take their attacks on the next turn here. Croak, let's go to you. What would you like to do for your turn?
I would like to release the torch and short bow from my hands. So
okay,
drop both, and then I would like to draw my short sword.
Okay.
I believe that it's interact.
I think
objects.
that is interact. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. So with your sword drawn, then, Fia, we will go to you.
Well, I haven't done my action.
Oh, please, yeah. No, go for it. Go for it. Drawing weapons is always weird. I typically consider that a free action. So yeah, do whatever you want to. You're good.
So yeah, I think he's going to drop concentration on Pass Without Trace, and then he opens his beak, and this almost like the sound of like a heavy oak door opening as he casts Hunter's Mark on the vampire on top of him, and he's going to take a pair of attacks on this baddie.
Yes, and you are currently grappled. So it's... Oh, you're fine. It's disadvantage on attack rolls against anything that's not your grappler. So you should be fine. You just can't move.
Cool. So first roll, ooh, I like that, is a... Please, short sword is a +8, so that's a 27 to hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, and I guess I'll roll the damage now. It's a D6. So that is going to be 3 plus 4 for 7. I believe the silvered also might add some stuff. Silver. It doesn't actually say in D&D Beyond what silvering does.
For certain monsters, they will have resistance to damage unless it's done by a silvered weapon. So you're essentially like you're overcoming a resistance with it.
Got it. Okay. Now I will take my second attack, and because a short sword is a vex weapon, I have advantage on it because I hit it.
Yep. Love that new 5.5 stuff.
Okay, so rolling with advantage, another 27, and now I will apply my sneak attack because I hit with advantage. Features. How many sneak attack do I do at this level? Let's see. That's another 3d6, and also I have my Swarm Keeper, which is another d6. So that's going to be 5d6 total. Roll that. For a total of 22 damage total. So I think what that kind of looks like is Croak drops the torch and short bow draws his short sword and then stabs once in the rib, and then kind of figuring out where the anatomy is, stabs again, and this time the shadow under his feet, cast by the torchlight, bursts in an eruption of feathers as his spectral ravens join in on the attack.
Yeah, and that does some pretty significant damage to this thing. You can see that as you're digging your blades in, this thing is screeching very animalistically, but it is still trying to dig its claws in and has not released its grapple to you. Wonderful damage all the same. Is there anything else for your turn?
That was my bonus and main actions. So, and I
Right.
don't think I can move while grappled. So
Correct.
that will be.
Fia, you've got one that is just trying to take a snap at you, two others that are just about 30 feet from you,
Sure.
and then you have one that's atop Croak. What would you like to do?
You know, we haven't really talked about how this is going to work, so we're just going to make this do a thing. Fia, seeing all of this, and she gets this, like, kind of wicked grin on her face and she extends her wings as her visage starts to shift, and what was the raven-haired, youthful-looking harpy suddenly shifts from one moment from that to a long-haired individual who you think perhaps has red hair, and then you realize she's just drenched in blood. And then it shifts again, and it's blindingly white snow hair, and Fia's face looks drawn and withered. And I think it shifts back and forth between these three until it settles on the blood-covered visage. And somewhere, I think Desiree might feel something, might notice something is off and amiss. Perhaps. And out of this, like, dripping blood, her whip manifests itself in her hand, and she's going to take the whip and attack the feral vampire that's right in front of her. We'll do that first.
Go for it.
Okie dokie. Oh, I don't want that dice. I want this one. Yep. Okay, it's fine. That's a 14 to hit.
14's what you need.
Great, perfect. Okay. So, that's... Okay, that is a 3 plus 6 for 9 points of damage, and I just have to double check what this other thing does that I just did, what that adds to it, because I'm not 100% sure. New character, who this? Let's see. Oh yeah, it also needs to make a wisdom saving throw, DC 17.
All right, wisdom save for DC 17. It has a -1 to its wisdom.
Yeah.
And that's a 1 on the die, so
Perfect.
that's a 0.
That thing is now frightened of me?
Okay. It can in fact be frightened.
Yeah.
So you see as the torchlight that's now lying on the ground is still reflecting against this thing's eyes. They go wide, and its jaws stop snapping, and it kind of cowers back a little bit in its animalistic stance, and yeah, it is frightened of you.
I would like to, if I may, move around and try and hit one of the other ones that's like a little further away.
Okay.
Actually, let's try for the one that's got Croak, because I think that's
Okay.
within probably 10 feet without me leaving this one's range.
Yeah,
Sure.
absolutely.
Okay, great. Let me use my second attack on Croak, or on the feral vampire that's on top of Croak.
Hopefully not on me.
No.
Wild turn of events.
That is going to be a 15 to hit.
15 hits.
Great. And that is 8 points of damage, which is specifically slashing damage. Sorry to ignore that dice roll, but that's 6 points. That's slashing damage.
Okay.
And yep, that's great. That's it.
Okay. And how much damage in total was it?
Sorry, it was just what did I say? 9 points of damage. Did I say 9 points of damage from the one on Croak?
Cool. Okay. This thing's looking pretty injured, but still is pretty persistent in its grip on Croak. To wrap back around to the now 4 feral vampires, one of them is going to look over and snap something in a language you don't understand at the one that's grappling Croak, and it will snap something back. The one that is frightened of Fia is going to scurry off into the brush, making all of this, the sound of like plants just whipping against it as it seems to be running away from the fight. The other 2 are going to dive at Fia. One of them is going to try to do some claw attacks, essentially leaping at you. So that is only an 8, and that's only a 10. I don't think either of those are going to hit.
Sure will not.
So it is going to land next to you, its claws trying to slash, but you dodging around them. The other one then is going to launch itself at you and try to do some claw attacks. They will have pack tactics at this point. We'll have advantage on these rolls. So that is, that's an 18 regardless. And that is a 17. Do either of those hit?
Technically, the
Both
18.
will hit.
However, they would, except I have parry as a reaction, so I add a 4 to my AC.
Okay. You also have mage armor, is that right?
Yeah, the mage armor only takes it to 18.
Okay. So no hits.
No hits. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Then you now have 2 that are kind of circling you.
Great.
The one that is grappling Croak. Let's see. Can I get a DC 13 Constitution saving throw from Croak, please?
Con save.
Please.
Let's see. Okay. Like that. Ooh, that's a nat 20 for me.
Wonderful. This thing trying to bite at you takes one big snap, and you are able to narrowly avoid getting your feathery neck caught in its jaws. It will continue. Yeah, exactly. You will continue to be grappled, but no damage for this turn. At the end of their turn, 2 additional feral vampires will pull their way out of the jungle and will enter the combat. Let's go back to Croak.
Cool. Croak is getting a little tired of this this vampire on top of him, so he's gonna take a couple more attacks. Roll some dice. No, that's not the right one. Sorry. That is going to be a 22 on my first hit.
Oh yeah.
So I think when we were doing SummerSlam, we ruled that Vex weapons, when they hit on one turn, carry over to the next turn.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Especially for a game like this. SummerSlam, I'm a little more stingy about it, but yeah, we can absolutely have that.
Cool. Then I will proc my sneak attack now. So reset that. Roll. That is 27 points of damage.
Yeah. way more than you needed, but hey, it works all the same. So do you want to describe how you felled this feral vampire?
Yeah, I think realizing that the rib stabs aren't working, Croak is just going to, while the vampire is like got a hold of like his neck scruff, I guess you could call it, tilt the angle of the blade and just shove it through the neck of the feral vampire.
Okay. And as you do, the thing goes limp and releases its grapple on you and falls to the ground.
Cool. I do still have my bonus action and a second attack.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to use my bonus action to transfer the Hunter's Mark to one of the vampires that is circling Fiach.
Okay.
And then I'm going to move in and attack that one.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, D20. That is a 24.
Oh, yeah. These things only have an AC of 14. Yeah, 100%.
Cool. I already used my sneak attack, but I do get the extra from Hunter's Mark. That is going to be 14 points of damage.
Okay. 14 is sizable. All right. Anything else for your turn?
Would I have noticed the 2 additional feral vampires coming down?
Yeah, so there's now 4 in total that are around. 2 closer to Fiach, 2 that are about 30 feet away in either direction.
Cool. I will kind of squawk at Fiach, get her attention, and point out the 2 new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fiach, it is your turn then. You've got 2 around you. Croak is engaged with one of them, 2 others a little further away. What would you like to do?
All right. So I think that Fiach reaches out a claw and points to a spot that is in the middle between the 2 new feral vampires and one, not the one that's engaged with Croak. I don't think. I'm assuming that the 2 around me, there's like one who's maybe in front of me, in between me and the 2 new feral vampires, and then one that's like was sort of doing the pack tacket thing that is, or like opposite side where Croak is.
Yeah.
Because I what I'd like to do is like as I point one very bloody claw at the center of this area, there's this sound of, it sounds like you think at first it's coming from Fiach, but it's not. And it's this like otherworldly voice that says, "You've messed with the wrong one and you are not supposed to be here." And casts synaptic static, which is a 20-foot radius sphere.
Okay.
And they have to make a intelligence saving throw and beat a 17.
Okay. They have a -1 to their intelligence.
I figured feral vampires were not high on the intelligence scale.
Yeah, they rolled a 6, so that is a 5.
Yeah, all right.
So I will do the single roll for all of them. So what does this look like? We can say that the 4 on the outside are still going to be within that 20 feet. I'm okay with saying that.
Yeah.
What does this do?
So essentially, they are going to take 25 points of psychic damage mechanically.
Okay.
Let's see. They also have muddled thoughts for the next minute, and it subtracts a d6 from all of its attack rolls and ability checks, as well as Constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. And they have to make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, but I highly doubt that it's going to matter. Yeah, and it's just this eruption of, like, essentially, it's this voice, this godlike voice that echoes out from that point that center area that sort of ripples and like echoes and repeats itself over and over again is sort of how I envision
Fantastic. Okay. In that case, you emanate all of this energy outwards. All of the vampires, the feral vampires around you, grip these extended clawed hands around their heads, their ears, as they're trying to stave off this confusion that you have thrown at them, as they're all off kilter now. The two that are circling around you, the one that was engaged with Croak, the other two, several others are starting to scurry out of the forest now, and it is at this point that you all hear the sound of a bell coming from further up the path. Just ding, 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 ding. It's distant at first, but it starts to get closer and closer, and you hear the movement of wheels on the path as well. All the vampires look up that way, the torchlight illuminating, glinting against their nocturne eyes as they all look towards that, and you hear them clicking at each other, making these sounds of like their teeth clacking on teeth, and in a moment they all scurry away, dragging the one that Croak had felled as well with them, and in seconds they have all disappeared further into the jungle. As Croak and Fiach, you are left standing on the dirt path, as you can see light coming from further up, and with that light you see figures moving as well, and a carriage being pulled by a team of horses that is traveling down the road, the roadway as well.
Croak, we should go.
Croak nods and then flaps his arms and points upward.
Mm-hmm.
And then he will stamp out the torch and retrieve it,
Mm-hmm.
and then just hold his arms out to be picked up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do my best, and I think strength isn't. I'm not that strong, but we'll try. Fiach will try her best and to get her and Croak up the tree to flap.
Croak's a small creature.
Oh, that's true. Then probably it'll feel fine.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as long as Fiach has a strength above, like, I think 9.
Oh yeah,
she should
absolutely.
Yeah, she should be fine. Okay.
I have an
great.
11. It's a +0, but it's there.
Go ahead and let's just call this general athletics, because you are moving rather quickly.
Sure.
Sophia, go ahead and just do an athletics roll for me.
I'm so good at this. Thank you, Jen. That's a nat 20 for
Fantastic.
20 total.
You scoop up your adopted brother into your arms and beat your wings quickly to launch yourselves into the tree, not probably too far from where the claw marks are and where the feral vampire had come to its landing, but a place where it was able to hide, a place where you hide now. With the torch stamped out, you see the figures that are approaching. Again, this is a carriage, not necessarily a wagon, but it's much more ornate. It's enclosed, indicating that there is something or someone that is being transported. Walking alongside the carriage, you see that there are foot soldiers, all carrying glaives and shields and wearing somewhat ornate armor. Probably something that you wouldn't want to travel through a jungle with in any significant period of time, so they probably didn't come from too far away. You are quickly inferring that these are entities who probably came down from the castle. Walking, I would say the one that stands out the most from all of them is a man who is wearing more of like a studded leather sort of vibe. He doesn't have the heavy armor. He has kind of a scruffier sort of demeanor to him, and he is also like a head taller than everyone else there as well. Darker skin, and he is the only one that isn't like walking in formation. Aside from the carriage driver, who has a hood up and you can't really see his face. He is the only one that stops and looks down at the torch that is stamped out in the mud.
Oh, I had mentioned I grabbed the torch.
You grabbed it. Okay, I'm sorry. Then, just for the sake of this, he looks down and sees the footprints that were left there after the Pass Without Trace was dropped. He looks around from side to side, but doesn't necessarily look up at all of you. And we won't necessarily do a stealth or anything for this particular scene, but he continues walking after the carriage, giving it about 15 feet before he follows after. And about 20 feet behind him, you see that there is a rolling fog that is moving through the jungle and getting ever closer to the town. That is where we'll end tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So we will pick up next time with
Tax season.
with the tax season.
Season.
With the tax collectors. So file your taxes, have your deductions, get all your dependents worried about. Croak can absolutely file for all of his birds. Fiach, I don't think, might have filed at one point for Croak being a dependent, but not anymore. Croak was
never my dependent. My mother's
I guess that's
dependent.
true. Is Desiree a dependent? That's something we need to look into.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you draw the knight card, I think you are responsible for that person.
That's
Yeah.
But that's assuming that Fiach has ever paid taxes in her entire life.
Yeah, you're all part of a religious organization. Like, you're all
That's
tax
true.
exempt.
We are tax exempt, but I mean, to be fair, we still don't want to piss off the SRS, the Sanguine Revenue Service.
Yes, that's very good. That's very good. Take a point of inspiration for that. That's really funny.
Yay!
Thank you to this wonderful cast for joining me for another wonderful episode of Harbingers. Thank you to you for joining us as well. I want to have these lovely people say more about themselves and where you can find more of them. Then we'll do some channel stuff and we'll wrap up for the night. So let's go ahead and go around. Abhishek, where can we find more of your lovely self?
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Abhishek Matange. I have been playing your lovely badass Anubia monk, Anubia. You can find me pretty much most places, either on the Birch site or the or BlueSky at Neon Raiden, or I think it's Neon_Raiden on Twitter or Neon Raiden on BlueSky. You can also find me at Abhishek Matange VO on Instagram. But yeah, I am a voice actor, TTRPG AP performer, lover of all things tokusatsu, especially Kamen Rider. God, I love me some Kamen Rider. But I am also the resident meme smith for the Sword and Key Discord, so if you join the Discord, you get to see our lovely curated memes that I like to make on the fly during session, for all to enjoy. I am currently not in anything else at the moment, and any other projects, but when that time does come, you can be sure that you will know about it, and obviously I am here playing Anubia pretty much every Friday on Sword and Key.
There we go. I just had to get my mouse to work. Thank you so much, Abhishek. Next up is Alex.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I had a delightful time playing Desiree tonight. You can find me here plotting and scheming on Harbingers and in other assorted roleplay streams here on Sword and Key and nowhere else on the internet.
And we are so lucky to have you here. I do want to say that Alex is one of my favorite GMs. I love when Alex runs games, but it's also a very favorite moment, which is a weird way of phrasing it. It is one of my favorite moments, which is a better way of phrasing it, when Alex gets to play in a game, because then I get to see that beautiful mind puzzle its way into making some of the wildest choices. And it's beautiful every single time. Next up is LD.
It's me! Hi, everybody. I'm Lady Dame, or LD. You can find me everywhere that's important on the internet at the Lady Dame. Right now, I am just here on Sword and Key. I say just. I'm very busy here on Sword and Key. First of all, getting to play the amazing Undead Warlock of Fiach of the Rowan. That was her form of dread, everybody. Welcome to that nonsense. So let's see. I'm also here every Tuesday night for a little bit longer, playing through Baldur's Gate 3 on Gate Night with my friends Derek and Shadow. We are in Endgame as we speak, so we've only got a few more sessions, I think. Well, and then there's the whole party at the end, but whatever. We're so close to finishing. It's wild. That's at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Or did we start at 7? We start at 7.
Yeah.
7 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday nights. I am also here next Wednesday facilitating the game Our Queen Crumbles as part of our Pride Month charity streams. It's 4 of us. It's a jamless game where there are 4 of us coping with the grief and loss of our queen, who has been turned into a statue, and so dragging her along with us. It's real fun and sad. I love it. It's been great. My cast is incredible. So I highly recommend checking out the first we've already done 1 session. The second session, part 2, will be next Wednesday. That's at 4 p.m. Pacific. And then here with Harbingers. And I think that's everything, other than I am also one of the co-hosts of the podcast Monster Crush, which I get to do with my friend Derek, also, where we talk about cryptids and creatures and monsters of myth and legend and whether or not they're smoochable. We just recorded our Father's Day episode, which should be coming out on Sunday. It was real fun. We had a good time. I'm very excited for everybody to be back doing that. And I think that's all I've got going on right now. Yeah.
Great. Rack, where can we find more of your lovely self?
All right, ladies, gentlemen, viewers of all pronouns, I've been Rakolai or Rakolai, no real preference how you pronounce it. Thanks for tuning in. You can find me here playing everyone's favorite Kenku, Croak, on Fridays. And every now and then, I'll pop up in other Sword and Key campaigns, most of which you can find on the Sword and Key YouTube channel. So if you'd like to check out more of those, you can go there. Other than that, you can find me here on the Purple site. Twitch.tv/Rakolai. I am streaming most weekends, building model kits, and I post all my builds on my socials, on Twitter and BlueSky. So if you'd like to see the stuff that I work on, you can check them out there.
There we go. Fantastic. And last but absolutely not least, we have Gena.
Hi, I'm Gena. I've been playing Saskia, who's been upgraded to babysitter.
Sorry.
You can find me, well, currently you can mostly find me here. So the thing I'm gonna plug is, guys, stay hydrated. It is hot out there.
It's a good plug. It's good to worry about the well-being of others. That's very paladin of you.
Even if it's not hot where you are, you still need to stay hydrated.
That's true. That's true. We are all terribly unhydrated. Unhydrated? Dehydrated. Pretty dehydrated. I need to hydrate. Stay hydrated, take care of yourself, even if it's not hot. That's good advice for all of us neurospicy streamers who always forget. Thank you to this wonderful cast. Thank you for all of the incredible work. I should have said this at the top. Thank you to LD for doing the production work for this. Thank you to Michael Sandoval for the artwork. So check out Michael's stuff at MIKYLSANDVOAL. It's Michael, not the way you think, Sandoval, but it's pronounced Sandoval. Michael has a dedicated art channel on our server, on the Discord server for Sword and Key, so you can check out all of his artwork there, and you can also see more of it tomorrow with Horizon's Call, which this game is a spinoff of. I'll talk about more of that here in a second. But thank you to this cast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for any donations that you all have been generous enough to make. We are playing in support of the Trans Latina Coalition, the second A in Latina being the @ sign, a very important organization that works for advocacy and the well-being of 2 marginalized groups and the intersectionality where they meet. So you can donate at any time. We have a number of games that are playing in support of that cause throughout Pride Month. Harbingers will be playing beyond Pride Month for that cause. So any donations that you make are very much appreciated, go towards a great cause, and can add some fun incentives to some really fun games that I'll talk about once we get to our calendar. I do want to say that this is a Sword and Key game. You can find all of Sword and Key stuff at beacons.ai/Sword and Key. I would know. I'm Derek Sword. I use he, him pronouns. I am the Sword, half of Sword and Key. Sword is my real last name. Yes, it's awesome. No, you can't have it. And while I would say follow me on social media, no, follow Sword and Key, because that's where I post everything else. So the best place to see our socials is BlueSky and Instagram, Sword and Key for both of those. Again, Beacons has the links to that. Beacons.ai/Sword and Key also has a link to join our Discord to hang out with cool folks like us, talk about cool games like this. You can also see our Twitch and our YouTube, whether you're watching this live or watching this later when it's on YouTube. Give us a follow either way. It's always appreciated. If you are looking for some of our discount codes, Beacons has all of those. We have some wonderful affiliates like Hit Point Press. Some of the music I used in this stream came from Hit Point Press. They have tons of music stuff that you can use. They also have, TTRPG accessories. They have minis. They have plush. They have cards, the animated spell cards, the Fable Maker's deck. Absolutely gorgeous across the board. You really can't go wrong. Use their affiliate link if you're going to be buying from them. If you are looking for your character made as a custom mini, no matter how weird and wild and normal and mod they might be, check out Eldritch Foundry. You can use code Sword and Key for 10% off your purchase there, first purchase, I believe. And we also have an affiliate link if you're going to be doing any 3D printing. So you can get a 3-month subscription for only $19.99. Pretty good deal. If you are looking for your perfect cup of tea, check out Friday Afternoon Tea. I am using my Friday Afternoon Tea mug tonight, which has Matcha, the dragon, on it, and also it says Tasty Teas for thirsty nerds. It's pretty great. And I personally recommend the official Sword and Tea or the Smut Tea, which LD helped make. Regardless of what you get, use code TheLadyDame for 10% off your order. Also, if you're getting your perfect dice set, if you're looking for some of the dice that rolled so well and so poorly for all of us today, check out Long Dog Dice. Jen from Long Dog Dice makes beautiful, gorgeous dice sets that roll incredibly well or incredibly poorly, but that's what dice are supposed to do because they're balanced. So I have the official Horizons Call dice. They have the Sword and Key logo on the D6. They're really great. You can actually pre-order a set for yourself or get a set that fits your character best, regardless of what you order. Code Sword and Key gets you 10% off that first purchase. There's also the dice fidgets now, the D20 fidgets, which are perfectly usable as a dice, but also have a wonderful squish as a fidget. There's clothing that you can customize with your character. LD has one of the dice fidgets there. There's glassware, tons and tons of stuff. I talked about our donation links. We also have a number of other charities we're in support of at any given time. I'll talk about more of those once we get to our calendar, but all those links also on the beacons. And then, of course, there also is the podcast Monster Crush, which LD mentioned. She and I do a podcast together. It is a bi-weekly, bisexual, panteratophilic podcast of monster love that celebrates all creatures, cryptids, and miscellaneous monsters from myth. Check it out wherever podcasts are found. We will have our new episode out this coming weekend for our Father's Day, our little Papa celebration. Let's take a look at our calendar real quick because it's kind of a busy month. So, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific time is the return of the Indigo Nexus. It is the Invisible Sun campaign being run by Mare. They've been going for a little while now. It seems like a really fun game. Definitely check it out if you haven't already. After that, at 3 p.m. Pacific time is the return of Horizons Call, the flagship game that Harbingers is a spin-off of. And you can see Jen from Long Dog Dice and Michael Sandoval, the artist for this game, all in that, as well as me running it. So that is raising money for Feeding America, and what plays every Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific time. They are trying to overthrow a devil that has taken over a zealot-based military religious civilization that lives underwater, a bunch of Tritons that believe they're following a god when actually it's a devil. And Proximus the Triton needs to save his home. We'll see how they do. It's going to be great, I'm sure. Monster Crush again will be releasing on Sunday the 21st. Also at 3 p.m. Pacific time on the 21st is Redwood's Rumble Part 1. That is our rescheduled Kids on Bikes game, which is going to be influenced or inspired by Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So Kids on Bikes with dinosaurs. It is a game being run by Valdranth and is part of our Pride Month campaign. So Part 2 will play on the 28th. On Tuesday, like LD mentioned, at 7 p.m. Pacific time is Gate Night, where Shadow and I played Baldur's Gate 3, and we are in the endgame. We'll see how that goes. On the 24th is Part 2 of Our Queen Crumbles, again, as LD mentioned, part of our Pride Month campaign. Check that out. And then on the 25th, at 6 p.m. Pacific time is the final episode of Black Sun Rising. It's part 4 of 4. It is the Monster of the Week game that is also part of our Pride campaign. So they've been playing pretty hard so far. It's looking like it's going to be a pretty big finale. So definitely check it out. Actually, from what I've seen from their chat, might not be the finale. There might be an extra episode.
I was about to say.
We'll see. Harbingers will be back on the 26th at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And then I should also mention that we do movie nights. We do movie nights every other week. They were on Fridays. They're now on Sundays. Our next one coming up on the 28th. And they're on our Discord. They're totally free. All you gotta do is be a part of the Discord, be around. But I've heard the Paddington movies are actually incredibly good. Like better than they have any right to be. So our next few movie nights are going to be the 3 Paddington movies. So I don't know. Maybe I'll see what all the fuss is about. Yeah. And it's movie nights are just an excuse for me to be like, okay, I actually need to watch this movie at some point, and or you are welcome to suggest them if you're part of our Discord as well. All that said, this has been Sword and Key. This has been Harbingers Season 2. Thank you again to all of you. Until we see you next time, take care of yourselves, take care of others, and fair winds, following seas, big stick. Bye, everybody.